Are you fucking serious, Noah? Are you fucking serious with me, Noah? As all of you know, and you all know because you were all here for this drama, and you're all here for it now, about a month ago, a fellow left-wing YouTuber by the name of Noah Samsen, who, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, up until like a couple weeks before the video dropped, due to like some Twitter beef that had happened, I actually really liked his videos. Like, I thought they were pretty good, like generally pretty entertaining and whatnot, and I had no reason to dislike him, and I'd kind of hoped that once I got larger, because he'd kind of like really grown pretty large pretty quick, I'd kind of hoped that once I got larger, this could be yet another like lefty figure that I could potentially be friends with, but that didn't exactly end up being the way things turned out. And I'm not exactly mad about it either, because unfortunately it feels like around every single corner, like I'll discover a creator that I like and want to be friends with in this space, and then they'll turn out to be kind of an ass. And that's kind of sad. I think that's very sad. With that said, though, a month ago, Noah Samsen put out a video called the Solving the Debate Bro Problem, and just, well, there I am in the thumbnail right there next to Vaush, and then we've got Professor Flowers, FD Signifier, and Hassan, and just the absolute cast of characters in this story. And then this video that came out 11 hours ago called The Vaush Effect with 80,000 views already. Oh, God. This guy, there's no way this guy doesn't keep making videos, like, generally approximating something along this topic. Guys, as a lefty content creator, shitting on debate bros will actually get you more views now than shitting on a conservative, or like debunking right-wing talking points, or like arguing against fascism. Like, a video shitting on Vaush from a left-wing channel will get more viewers and more support from a left-wing audience than a video in which Noah Samsen was dunking on a right-winger. That is the world that we live in right now. Hey, Lanaby, what's up? Okay, let's watch the video. As you can see, I have not cheated. I have not pre-watched. I have not pre-came. Let's watch the video. To be fair, I did get a lot of subscribers from the last Noah Samsen video, so that did kind of help. Also, the video is only 28 minutes long, so we're not going to speed it up or anything. I pre-watched. Cheater. This is not a drama video. This is about content creator ethics. Oh boy. The thumbnail's a necessary
Michael Scope. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. How's it?
Holy shit. He's touching grass! This is an upgrade.
Going? I hope you're doing well. Check out how green everything is. Check out how green all that stuff is. Check out how green everything is. Check out how green all that stuff is. So, a little while ago, I released a video called Solving the Debate Bro Problem. This video set out to criticize two left-leaning political live streamers, Vaush and Xanderhal.
Soy! Oh, he got that screenshot like 3 days ago. I was at 68.5k. I'm at 68.7k now.
For behavior that I found problematic. I looked at a few different examples, so Vaush's interaction with the smaller video essayist Professor Flowers, Xanderhal's video that was critical of my—
Wait. Hold on. Wait. Why would it be in any way relevant whatsoever that Vaush's interaction with Professor Flowers was one with a smaller creator? Noah Samsen, I have like 68,700 subscribers. You've got 153k. Wait, if not to mention you couldn't support any of your arguments from the last video against me. Wait, why are you punching down now, Noah? You could like, okay, never mind. I'm being shitty. I'm being too shitty too early in the video for it to be warranted. Like, not everybody watching right now is completely familiar with the context, and I feel like if I just go all the way in, like if I just go all in right at the beginning, I feel it's a little unfair, or seems unfair to the people that aren't fully caught up on the context. So for anyone here who thinks I've started this off being a little bit too aggro right in the beginning, just know there is a significant amount of context in this situation that I do recommend you look into on my channel. I did another video responding to the previous one if you want to check that out. But yeah, just for anyone who somehow is like just getting in on this isn't just me like just completely going against Noah for no reason whatsoever or something. Don't worry, guys.
Different examples. So Vaush's interaction with the smaller video essayist Professor Flowers, Xanderhal's video that was critical of myself and some other lefty content creators, and various elements of their respective communities' behavior. After the video's release, Vaush and Xanderhal both reacted to it live on their streams in videos that have since been uploaded to YouTube. They had many criticisms. I went on to Vaush's stream to talk with him about some of those criticisms. Vaush also released another video on the subject titled Solving the Video Essayist Problem, which was critical of my video argumentation or lack thereof. Some say that, not me though. I would never say that. I've linked all of those in the description if you're sort of a creep that wants to watch all that stuff. The video's reception was, well, divisive might be the right word. On the one hand, you had a lot of people who understood where I was coming from, who empathized with my frustration.
A long-winded pat on the back. Hey Noah, I appreciated your content before, but the way you've carried yourself over the last few days has earned my respect like no other content creator. I can't imagine the kind of stress and pressure you're currently under, and the actions you've taken recently have required serious guts, humility, and circumception. It has to fucking suck. From an optics standpoint, you seem to be in an impossible position, but through this ordeal, you're bringing something to the online left, in quotes, that it's been missing, and something it deeply needs. It has to fucking suck. From an optics I seem to be an easily convinced person. I watch Vaush content and I'm like, hell yeah, facts and logic. Then I watch a video like yours and I'm like, hell yeah, the debate space has some deeply problematic mechanisms that sideline marginalized creators. Then I watch Vaush's response. I'm like, hell yeah, that Noah Samsen left some puzzle pieces in the box and he engaged in some of the tactics that he simultaneously decries. Maybe I'm a smooth brain automaton for liking Vaush. You, Sean, Thought Slime, and Philosophy Tube. No, you're just kind of a fence sitter. All at once. Look at all them white people. My primary emotional response whenever... I'm sorry. Okay. Can I just say, for starters, I'm sorry that there's so many people out there that are like, that I'm living this rent-free in the heads of, that have just been like begging and waiting for a video that like, by anybody who can even put in like the smallest amount of effort to actually make a hit piece on me and Vaush, and even that video wasn't that good, and this was their reaction to it. That warms my heart. There's so many people who I live in the head of completely free of charge.
About these spaces, or just were able to have a laugh at the way I went about highlighting them. Vine boom sound. Vine boom sound. Vine boom sound. Vine boom. On the other hand though, a lot of people didn't like the video. This dislike ranged from, hey man, normally like your videos, but this one was a miss. This wasn't it, Chief. Mr. Chief, this was not it. Mr. Chief. Halo 7. Marriage. All the way to, this is the worst video essay of all time that should be wiped clean.
What are these jokes? Would it be remiss of me to dunk on the humor? Would it be remiss of me to dunk on the humor? Okay. I feel like a lot of like the video, it's not even video essayist lefty content. How do I even describe it? This isn't even like, this is more like the Hassanosphere. That's what we're gonna call it, the Hassanosphere. Like he's simultaneously engaging in absurd amounts of VDS and I don't know, debate bro derangement syndrome, whatever the fuck you want to call it, DBDS. That can be what we call it now. Engaging in a ridiculous amount of that while simultaneously using like this sort of exaggerated, not boomer humor. It's not boomer humor. It's Zoomer humor. Or at least it feels like a lefty attempt at Zoomer humor. Like, no, it's cringe baby talk. No, I don't think you guys understand. I'm talking about the humor, not like the presentation or the way of delivering lines. That's just sort of like the way he delivers his lines is simply like sort of a I think I saw someone on Twitter mention that he has a stutter, and I mean that definitely probably plays some impact, but like a lot of YouTubers will do sort of like a quirky kind of way of presenting their videos where there's sort of a little bit of an artificial stutter because it adds a little bit of a cute sort of quirky aspect to the videos. And if you think that's not a real thing, then go watch some YouTube. Please go watch some YouTube, for God's sakes. If you think that like a comedic artificial stutter is not used constantly by YouTubers to like for comedic effect, then you're not a YouTube watcher, apparently. You're not somebody who's been watching YouTube since you were 8 years old like I have.
From the internet along with your channel. The latter response was basically the takeaway from the streamers themselves.
I am not. The stutter is not the part worth making fun of. That's what people in chat were making fun of and what I was calling out. The part that I think is worth making fun of, I guess, insofar as the humor is sort of like the quirky, awkward, the music stops, then it zooms in, and then there's like a sound effect, or then there's like a, oh, look at me, kind of like, I don't know. Like, can I show an example?
You had a lot of people who understood where I was coming from, who empathized with my frustrations about these spaces, or just were able to have a laugh at the way I went about highlighting them. Vine boom sound.
Okay, I think this is like, right here's a good example. Even though it's supposed to be self-aware, he's still like doing it here, right?
Vine boom sound. Vine boom sound. Vine boom. On the other hand, though.
See, like the music stops and everything, like the music stops for the joke. You can see how it's set up, right? Stuttering definitely is great for delivery. I think it helps people like Chris Ray Gun, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I find it endearing. And I think most people do, and it's why it's a successful, like, effective way of, like, giving, like, portraying your, your talking points. It's funny, fuck you. I mean, yeah, comedy is subjective. I'm saying that this is the type of humor that he goes for because this is the type of humor. It feels... God, his sad boy attitude and tone of voice in his video is reminding me so much of that old Bobby Burns video, your favorite YouTubers manipulating you. Oh, I kind of want to watch that. Bobby Burns, your favorite YouTubers manipulating. That's not that. Holy shit, Lonnie, I want to watch that video. Maybe after stream? Maybe we can watch it together after stream, babe. Yeah, I don't know, like the sad boy tone's part of it, I guess, but like the main thing, I suppose, is like, it feels like this is a lefty doing a hello fellow kids type thing. You know what I mean? Like, if you watch the average, like, popular, edgy, lol so random YouTuber, you're gonna find that, like, the parts of their content that, like, the average shitlord teenager Zoomer likes to see in it, like in your Sam Hides, for example, isn't the fact that it's quirky, lol, so random. It's the fact that, like, it's a little bit offensive. The fact that there's sort of the quirky, weird part of it and the offensive aspect, the politically incorrect aspect, is what does so much for, like, your average shock jock comedians that engage in the type of humor that it almost feels like Noah Samsen's trying to emulate without bringing any of the problematic aspects in.
Welcome to capitalism,
And
Medusa.
that in concept is not a bad thing at all whatsoever. I mean, I have to hope to God that at least some of these 153K people that are now Noah Samsen subscribers were once conservatives or Nazis or like centrist shitlords that like saw this video, the humor resonated with them, and the Zoomers went zoomy, and now they're a lefty, even if they're just kind of an obnoxious, annoying one. That'd be an upgrade at least, right?
A lot of people didn't like the video. This dislike ranged from, hey man, normally like your videos, but this one was a miss. This wasn't it, Chief. Mr. Chief, this was not it. Mr. Chief, Halo 7, marriage, all the way.
I don't know what the joke was. That is the joke that, like, there's been so many Halo games that they're gonna make a Halo 7, and it's gonna be called Halo Marriage, and it's gonna be the one where Master Chief gets married because he's old, because they made a lot of Halo games, and making a lot of games in a franchise is cringy. Is it? Ain't I right? Ain't it right? Ain't it right, Zoomers? What? Yeah, I don't know. I think that's the joke, right? That probably isn't the joke. I have no idea what the joke is. Is marriage difficult? Master Chief X Doom guy? That would be glorious.
To this is the worst video essay of all time that should be wiped clean from the internet along with your channel. The latter response was based.
To be clear, by the way, I still get comments on my video about how the online left is going to like fall and the online right's going to rise from the audience of Noah Samsen, like shit talking me from like his video, like to this day, like over a month later, I'm still getting shit for it. So like, I just want to point out whatever Noah Samsen's going to complain about here, I have received plenty of hate for it as well. I lost plenty of subscribers, then gained a lot when I responded to it and debunked all the false talking points. But regardless, I lost a lot of subs, got a lot of shit for it initially, responded, disproved everything. But I had my bout of getting shit for the video, and I regret none of my behavior or engagement in any of this. Like, this was, at the end of the day, a larger figure with a larger audience and way more of a platform punching down at, yes, a larger figure, but also a smaller figure. Like, he may have been making videos for less time than I have, but my channel's not as big as his. He's got way more people behind him to go after me than I do to go after him. And I actively encourage my audience not to go after him. He literally had a bit in his video where he told people to wink, wink, nudge, nudge, go brigade Xanderhal's video. So, come on.
Basically the takeaway from the streamers themselves.
I am not joking when I say to all of you with full sincerity that this is quite possibly the worst takedown I've seen.
It's really disappointing how true much of the online left can be convinced by such stupid arguments if they're said by somebody with a nice mustache and some bisexual lighting and the lo-fi chill music in the background.
Vaush at one.
The lo-fi chill music is literally in the background, and he has the mustache. He just doesn't have the That has to be solely the reason why he filmed this video outside. That's why he filmed the video outside, isn't it? That's why he filmed. It's because if he did it cause he didn't want for it to immediately cut to him in bisexual lighting and everything I described as being like evidently on screen true. Oh, that's actually really funny. That's actually really funny. Is it outside? It looks like a green screen. I don't know. It looks like a backyard in Florida to me. Like, that's a Florida backyard from what I can see, just based on these are not banana trees. Those are those other things that look like banana trees but aren't. Those are those fucking, it's LA? Really? Looks like Florida.
One point even offered me a cash reward of double the video's ad revenue to take it down.
If Noah
Oh, what a slime ball. Wait, are you fucking real? What a slime ball. Okay, for those of you guys that want to know the context of this, Vaush made a follow-up video to his response to Noah Samsen's video, because Vaush mostly covered the segments talking about him. He made a follow-up talking about the segment talking about me. And he talked about how the segment talking about me in particular was so bad, so lacking in arguments, and such a clear attempt to punch down at a smaller creator and like kill their career before it's really started, that he would literally offer Noah Samsen not only the amount of ad revenue that he made off of the video, but multiple times that to take the video down. From, if I'm remembering correctly, not to protect his like reputation, but to protect mine, because the video was so explicitly like dishonest towards me and was so clearly a hit piece against me with not even an ounce of decent arguments, just misrepresented clips and lies. Yeah, the context was him standing up for Xan, a much smaller creator, not to get rid of criticism of Vaush himself. Yeah, I mean, Vaush would have kept his response up. Like, the video would still be available on the internet. Not to mention, Noah Samsen did take the video down. He privated it or unlisted it for like 2 weeks after Destiny covered the video, and then put it back up a couple weeks ago after Destiny, his community had kind of forgotten about him and moved on. So I don't know.
Samsen deletes the video and publicly retracts the information within, then he can screenshot the AdSense info within.
Yeah, Noah Samsen did refuse the money, though, to be clear. It's just, I don't like the way that Noah's framing this as like Vaush trying to pay Noah to take down like criticism of him on the like that the framing of that is quite clear. The framing of that is quite clear. This was a statement that Vaush made on stream, not some like weird, I don't know. It just comes off weird the way he framed it.
In it, and I will give him money so that he doesn't lose a cent from deleting it. I'll double it.
So naturally, I took it
True.
down. I got the money, and then I put the video back up. I plan on doing that a few hundred more times.
He didn't.
Boss just keeps paying me.
And it's just this is a meme. This is a joke.
Unlimited money glitch. Motherload. Just kidding. That whole thing was a joke. I can't take money from the CIA. I still use TurboTax. It would be a mess. But okay, why are we here today, Noah?
Okay, it's a joke, okay? That's a joke. That was actually a funny one. That was actually a funny fucking joke. That was funny. I can't take money from the CIA. I use TurboTax. My tax. Yeah, that would actually be... That was actually a good one. That was actually a good one, okay? You know what? We'll give... It wasn't a banger or anything, but it was actually, like, a decent one. It was actually, like... It wasn't a lol so random or, like... making fun of me having a weed light that my editor gave me for my birth or for Christmas, or like my hair that okay. Can I just say, I forgot to mention in Noah Samsen's video, he makes fun of two things in particular about my appearance and my room. He makes fun of my weed light, which was a Christmas gift I got from my editor and content manager / very close friend Cherry. And he also makes fun of my hair being silvery white, which I did as a goal for a fundraising stream to raise money for my editor and content manager's college tuition. It was literally me changing my appearance as an exchange for like money from my audience to give to somebody who's not me to help them pay for college. I don't know, like, there's no way he could have known these things. I just thought it was really funny that the two things he happened to attack me for, well, he attacked me for other things too, but two of the biggest things he happened to attack me for repeatedly in the video regarding my appearance in my room were like, when you know the backstory around it, it's like, oh, well, that doesn't sound like something really that sounds as good to make fun of now, does it?
Why are we talking about your last video? Grow up, move on. Well, I want to talk today about what I experienced in the aftermath of making it. I want to do this because after I released the video, frankly, some weird...
Hey guys, can I just remind you, I will literally post my cock on Twitter if Noah Samsen has never once said on the internet at any point about cancel culture that people are mad that they're being held accountable for their actions. If he has never said at any point that cancel culture is overblown because people are just getting held accountable for their actions, I will show my dick on Twitter. Because I know for a fact he said it. I know for a fact that he said that cancel culture is just people getting upset for facing consequences of their actions. I hear lefties say it all the fucking time, okay? And I'm almost certain he's about to complain about getting pushed back for all the misinformation in his video. You know, facing the consequences of his actions.
Weird stuff happened, and some bad stuff happened. And I want to talk about that, and connect the weird, bad stuff to the experiences of other people. I want to outline how this happens, what the backlash from debate streaming communities looks like, what's at stake for some of the people who experience it, and maybe what can be done about it, eventually. Probably not today, but someday. So yeah, super vague, but I will get into it. Right after, we quickly take a moment of silence for all those lives lost during that one thing, and then we take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, Casetify.
All right. I'm doing it. I'm answering my sponsor emails. Is this permission? This is all I need. This is all I need. I'm answering all of my sponsor emails. Every Xanderhal video will be sponsored. Holy fuck. I'm doing it. Castify fucking sucks too. Does it? They're super expensive in shit cases. Let's fucking go! I don't have to be poor anymore. You guys have no idea how long my principals have kept me poor for. Oh my god. I should do a whole segment about, like, it would be like a 3-hour video of me just telling the stories of how many times I had the opportunity to make way more money, but then said no because my conscience didn't feel right about it. Holy shit.
If you like having a phone that isn't all fucked up and gross and weird, then you're gonna love Casetify. These phone cases are the bee's knees. Casetify's new line of impact and ultra impact cases are made from 65% recycled and plant-based materials. They come in 100% recycled packaging, made with recycled paper and non-toxic soy ink, which comes from soybeans. You hear that? I can feel the soy. I'm becoming a man. These cases are just solid, man. They're like really well made. They look good. Yes, I do have an Android, and yes, it is.
Now we're watching it. I don't care. We're watching all of it.
Is corny to make fun of people for that in 2022. The cameras on them
watching
are
the whole
fine
thing.
Now. Look, there's 3 of them. This is the latest Android, and as you can see,
we're watching the whole thing.
Virtually lossless. Casetify's
It's time
QI
for
Tech
Noah to
2.0
make
technology
money.
offers drop protection of up to 9.8
It's time
feet.
for
The
Noah to
cases
make
are also
some
wireless
money.
charging and 5G compatible. You can feel the 5G when you put your phone to your head.
It's time for
airdropping
Noah to
Kimberly
make some
Crenshaw
fucking
PDFs into my
money.
frontal lobe. They have a whole bunch of cool styles, and they offer custom ones as well. Here's
Okay.
to get 15% off your order. Save your phone so you can call your family.
bit's not
or
that
something.
funny.
I don't know. Okay, back to the video now. All right, so after all of the events that I went over, which was my video, the responses, the debate, and the other content, I started seeing one comment pop up in different places on the web.
1.1k viewers. Oh shit, I wasn't paying attention to my viewer count. Like the stream if you're watching right now. Welcome everybody. Enjoy your time here. Hopefully you're having fun. We got a lot of shit to cover. Enjoy your time here. Like the stream. It helps me out. YouTube values engagement a lot, so like the stream.
The comment says that basically in my conversation with Vaush, I walked back my entire video, admitted to it being full of lies and misinformation, and should...
I'm sorry, but we watched that on stream, did we not? Like, we watched it on stream.
therefore delete the video. I've received versions of this comment hundreds of times, maybe thousands at this point if we're counting tweets, from not only fans of these creators, but from the creators themselves. So is this what happened? Did I-
Oh wait, what tweet was that? Hold on, I want to see. The Noah Samsen fan wanted to defend him putting the hit piece video back up on Twitter after Noah conceded. This looks like a comment I'd see from the fans of a conservative YouTuber. Oh! Not even gonna show the message, huh? Not even gonna show what I'd... What had I maybe screenshotted here, Noah? What had I maybe screenshotted here, Noah? What was the date of that? February 21st, 2022 was when that tweet came out. Okay, that shouldn't be hard to find. I don't tweet that much. So let's see the message that I actually screenshotted that I, initially posted that, Noah Samsen didn't feel the need to show all of. Let's go ahead and read this comment. Bubba Child Support commented, so people can see his point of view and why... Oh yeah, this was in response to somebody saying Noah Samsen should take down the video. He's got no reason to because it's all misinformation. Then this person responds, so people can see his point of view and why he doesn't like debate bros. Even if it's misinformation, my dude is still just sharing his opinion, which, let's be honest, it's not really harming anyone. Anyone can criticize anyone. People want him to delete just because he went after Vaush, bruh. Imagine wanting someone to delete their hard work just because you disagree with them. Facepalm emoji. So yeah, that's why Noah Samsen wasn't too comfortable showing the full screenshot that I'd posted in his video. Do we really need to keep operating on the assumption that Noah Samsen's a good faith actor? Maybe he shows the full comment. Maybe he shows the full comment. Hey, listen, maybe I'm jumping the gun. Maybe in just a second it shows the full comment. Maybe I'm jumping the gun. Let's get ahead of that.
Fans of these creators, but from the creators themselves. So is this what happened? Did I walk back my video?
Okay, he doesn't. Okay, there we go.
In the debate. And at first I wasn't sure. So I watched it back only to discover that, no, this did not happen. In my conversation with Vaush, I conceded 3...
Xanderhal, you and Vaush should really start dropping the harassment you get. There's no point. So let me explain something to you guys as to why Noah Samsen doesn't like me and Vaush. This is the actual real reason why, probably. There are two ways that you, as a lefty figure, can front yourself, and let's just say one way of fronting yourself doesn't really like the other. People like Noah Samsen's response to like getting shit on or dogpiled is to play the victim and to like use that for sympathy points, right? That's what people like this on Twitter, they do it all the time, and this isn't a controversial take. They use the harassment they get, they signal boost it, they post screenshots of it in order to draw attention to it from their audience in order to get, like, you know, victim points, right? People like me and Vaush usually conceal the fuck out of the harassment we get and puff our chests up and, you know, kind of play up a completely unfazed persona. Because we don't want to give attention to the people that engage in harassment towards us. The flamenco guy who had been stalking me for 3 years, I just made the video exposing him after 3 years. I'm not exactly in the habit of, like, screenshotting every time somebody says something mean to me and, like, making a big deal about it. Usually it's just quote tweeting tweets to make fun of them or argue against misinformation they spread. I mean, that's the biggest distinction, isn't it? People like Noah Samsen respond to criticism by, like, signal boosting it and using it for sympathy points. People like me and Vaush ignore it as much as we can and only really respond to it or boost it when we need to respond to it to debunk, like, misinformation and accusations against us. All right, we got my coffee. Let's resume.
Points, and none of these points stand in the way of my video's main arguments. The driving issues behind my video, the reasons why I made it, were Vaush's treatment of Professor Flowers and Xanderhal's problematic language. The 3 points that I conceded in the debate had nothing to do with these.
But you couldn't provide any actual evidence of me having problematic language, and you literally couldn't prove that anything Vaush said or did during the Professor Flowers debate was unjustified. You walked back everything. Now, I'm sorry. Am I having amnesia? Am I having amnesia? I swear I distinctly remember watching on stream the Noah Samsen versus Vaush debate, discussion, whatever, and him saying, like, that he just, like, walking back everything. I don't remember him at any point, like, he died on every hill and walked back everything. He couldn't prove anything. He couldn't provide any evidence. He couldn't provide examples. He couldn't provide justification. He couldn't even post hoc justify the existence of his video based on any of the behavior Vaush did after the video came out. He couldn't even do that. Xanderhal saw this too, and he couldn't argue against anything Vaush brought up. Yeah, like, I'm pretty sure my memory is not faulty here. I like to smoke a lot of weed. I'm high now. I was high while watching that debate, and I've been high a lot in between. But I'm pretty sure my memory isn't that bad.
It has been a little while, so if your memory's a little hazy on it, I encourage you, go back and watch the debate. That is what happened. And yet, here we have countless people jumping into my comment sections to self-righteously proclaim something that is demonstrably false, and using this falsehood as a justification to force my hand into deleting a video. That seems a bit weird, right?
He unlisted it after Destiny covered it. Oh my god, wait. Oh my god, I think I know what we might get here. So, Noah Samsen took the video down shortly after Destiny covered it, and me and Vaush were quite, like, clear not to harass Noah Samsen. Destiny did not do that. And Destiny's community, well, let's just say I have a feeling that Noah Samsen's going to take a bunch of screenshots of people from Destiny's community shitting on the video, and then ascribe that harassment to Vaush and I.
Lest this come off as me saying that no, I did not get owned actually, as I slowly shrink into a corn cob. That's not true. I did get owned. Roughly 1 million people on the internet think I'm the worst video essayist of all time. And I'm fine with that. Honestly, I am. What I'm not a big fan of, though, is being bullied.
Jesus, I don't... Okay, can I just say something for a moment? My goal in all of this has never been for, like, Noah Samsen to have, like, a terrible reputation, his career to be ruined or whatever. Like, my dream... Can I just tell you guys the dream? I said it last night on stream, but can I tell you guys the dream? I have a dream, okay? I have a dream. No, but for real, when I was about 16 years old, I started to get into this sort of edgy right-wing YouTube content, right? And once I turned 17, that's when I started to get into the full-on, like, outright political stuff, right? And that's when it really, really picked up. And, I started watching Seanhead and Chris Ray Gun. Eventually, I picked up, like, Sargon, started watching Dave Rubin and Milo Yiannopoulos, and then Andy Worski. And, we can go down the train as much as we like, but it's not exactly productive. But at least in my mind, post all of that, when I joined LeftTube, when I started making this content, the idea that I had in my mind making my videos from probably around like 1,000 subs to like, I'd say up to 10,000 subs, I had this dream in my mind of like BreadTube becoming the polar opposite of what I probably naively thought the skeptic community was, almost like a polar opposite. Because like the skeptic community, like, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe like Shu is in chat and can correct me here about like exactly how delusional my 17-year-old brain was, but like, I don't know, from my perspective, it seemed like most of the skeptic YouTubers were like friends or friends of friends. Like, it seemed like they hung out fairly out, or like they'd have meet up. Like, there was the Kekistan flag and the VidCon 2016. Like, I don't know, it just seemed like there was a real community there. And I really hoped, barring COVID, we'd see something like that when I started making this content, like that we'd make a community not too dissimilar, and that it would sort of act as an opposing force. And I hoped that if we could do this, that a community of content creators that collaborate together, shout each other out, constantly making videos and working together to help each other out in the algorithm, in this horrible hellscape that is YouTube, that LeftTube or BreadTube, this new budding idea that was so exciting and interesting at the time because there were people writing these articles, and it seemed like the left was really on the upswing. Like that's when Vaush started his channel and was really growing. 2019 was a great year for the left, and it seemed like that's where things were going. And 2022 was more of the same, more of really good, right? It seemed like everything was going in the right direction. Lefty YouTubers were growing, the left was becoming more culturally relevant, and now I'm just sort of sitting here long ago having been hit with the harsh reality that we will never, ever have that. That's my dream still, but it's something we'll never have. My dream, like, resolution to this was Noah Samsen says, yeah, maybe that video is a little bit off base. Okay, I'll delete the video and I'll make a new one that like covers the broader criticisms that I think the content has. A video that I made, by the way, I made a video criticizing Debate Bro live stream content. A video that like went all the way down, completely like ripping apart this format of content. From my perspective, I did that video, and it was very good. I criticized myself and Vaush, and I did not get any hate on it. Not from my community, not from Vaush's. People were like, yeah, these are actually like clearly criticisms that are worth having, and it's glad to know that Xanderhal recognizes them and is like working to act on them. And it was a good video to make. And people were happy with it. You can make a video criticizing this type of content, this format, and even the behavior that some of the content creators in this format engage in. I said before, the distinctive difference between the way that I present myself, or the way that Vaush presents himself, or the way that Demon Mama presents herself, or the way that Shark presents herself, or the way that Apillo presents himself, or the way that, and the way that like Noah presents himself, or the way that Hassan presents himself, is that we don't usually bring attention and like guilt trip our audiences over the harassment we're facing. We hide it and we ignore it and we pretend it's not there. People like Noah Samsen and Hassan put the fucking chat on screen and have a meltdown over one comment in the chat for like 5 minutes. Hassan will like have somebody in the chat say something mean. Like I'll bring the chat on screen to make fun of someone for a moment if they've said something dumb, or to like to challenge them to come on stream. Hassan will see someone say something in his chat, one person that like offends him, bring their chat onto the screen, complain about them for 5 minutes straight, and then block them or like ban them after like making fun of them for like 5 minutes straight to their whole audience of like 30, 40, 50,000 people. Like, do you understand now what I mean, and like the distinct difference? Like when I ban someone, I say, all right, buddy, fuck you, and I just drop the ban. When Vaush bans someone, he says, nope, sorry, buddy, drops the ban. When Demon Mama bans someone, nope, sorry, buddy, drops the ban. Shark bans somebody, have a good one in hell, buddy. drops the ban. We don't make a big deal about banning people or getting criticism or harassment because, and I'm not saying it's bad to make a big deal about it, I'm just saying there's a very clear difference in the way that we react.
And sometimes it's hard for me to tell when that's happening, and I have since realized that it did happen here. Now, here one might object, well, Noah, you went onto the debate stream and you were conciliatory. You didn't argue for your positions well, and you backtracked enough points that if people got the impression that you don't believe what you said in your video, can you really blame them? And initially, I actually agreed with this point. I was like, you know, yeah, I guess this is just kind of what happens when you go on debate streams, especially if you go on unprepared and unseasoned in the art of debate, as I was and still am. I'm not coming back on, guys, so don't ask. I should have known better than to go on that stream. Ultimately, this might be my fault, or so I thought.
This is the JonTron defense, by the way. This is the JonTron defense. Do you guys remember the JonTron defense? So for those of you guys that don't know, back in 2017, JonTron tweeted some Nazi shit. He tweeted out in support of a politician, I believe, named Steve King. I think he's like a representative in not New York. It's some fucking upper right state. It's some fucking northeastern state. He's like a representative from like Maine or some shit. Idaho. Ah, fuck. Listen, all right. Everywhere that isn't Florida, California, Colorado, New York, or Washington State is flyover country to me. I'm sorry, fuck you. Iowa. Okay, Iowa. Anyway, Steve King went on like several white nationalist rants about needing to make sure we maintain a white majority in the country and everything, and JonTron tweeted out defending him, saying that he's just defending his people and like whatever really weird shit. Destiny and JonTron got into an argument on Twitter back then. Destiny brought JonTron on and had possibly one of the most influential debates in internet history. Maybe I'm biased because it was for me, but possibly one of the most influential debates in internet history. Outing JonTron as not necessarily a Nazi, but outing mostly the dog whistles that he'd been taught, most likely by content he watched and didn't fully understand, outing the dog whistles he used on Twitter as actually being Nazi arguments. Because you'd hear these dog whistles from like really popular white nationalist figures that still had the mask on at the time, and there was still so much plausible deniability about what white identitarian meant, or what preserving a white a majority white nation would entail. So Destiny brought him on and started asking questions. Okay, JonTron, how would you maintain a majority white nation? What if the brown people don't want to leave, JonTron? How do you get them to leave? And it just kind of went like that for a while, and JonTron just kind of kept on, you know, biting the bullet every time and admitting like what they'd have to do, and a lot of people saw it as him outing himself as a Nazi. And the defense from a lot of people following that debate was JonTron was just unprepared. JonTron just didn't have experience debating. Destiny cornered him. Destiny like ambushed him on with these questions. He's just a dumb fuck. He couldn't have known better. And they all use that as the excuse for JonTron going on Destiny's stream and repeating Nazi talking points. I don't know if JonTron's a Nazi. I don't think he is. I don't know if he's smart enough to be a Nazi. I just think he probably like watched a lot of really right-wing content because it was popular back then, was repeating what he heard, what he thought people smarter than him were saying. So yeah.
When I actually took a step back though and thought about it and then watched the debate a few more times, I realized that no, that's bullshit. People should not be allowed to lie about stuff just because I didn't go full debate lord in the debate.
People shouldn't be allowed to just lie about stuff. Oh my god. It's almost like we've been saying that about your original video for a while.
Debate realm. That should not be standard procedure. I entered
To be fair, Noah didn't really do too much lying in his original video, especially about me, because he didn't really have any arguments against me. All he could really do was like show clips of me saying I don't like a YouTuber that I guess I'm supposed to like. Legitimately, several points in the video, Noah Samsen shows clips of me saying FD signifier is a dumb fuck and adds nothing to it, as if that's an argument. Well, like, I'm sorry, is there like some rule? Like if you go down the list of what you need to be a leftist, is like one of the rules down there, like you must like the YouTube channel FD Signifier. If you don't, that makes you racist. Xanderhal, he literally tried to call you a racist. I don't know what the other implication could be other than I don't like FD Signifier. I think he's a dumb fuck, so that must mean I'm racist. That seemed to be the implication, right? Oh yeah, he kept on clipping me saying these people, like right after I said like video essayists. Yeah.
Conversation, attempting to see.
Yeah, like I'd say, God damn, these video essayists are so goddamn annoying. I swear, if these people were ever, and then he'd like cut the, if these people, yeah. Yeah, you did that a little bit too.
Understanding. I felt bad, frankly, after seeing how poorly my video was received.
Like, what the fuck is that?
And how if my goal was to put a stop to the bad
I don't think he was making fun of the mustache in the clip.
Behavior I tried to call out, and the video was...
Wait, I remember what clip that was. In that clip, that was him responding to literally no argument. Wait, chat. I remember what clip he was just showing of Vaush there. I remember when he was, what video, that was when he was saying he was responding to Noah's video and played the clip, and Noah Samsen like played the clip of me, made fun of my hair, then moved on to the next part of the criticism, and then Vaush paused it and said, "What the fuck was that?" If I remember correctly, right? I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was one of the random zoom-ins during your part. Oh, was it? Was that what he was responding to? I know it was like some completely empty, like, haha, let's make fun of Xanderhal, no argument whatsoever, though, to justify it. Do you suggest watching the Destiny video with the debate with JonTron? Yes, I'm sorry. The Destiny JonTron debate should be required viewing for any LeftTube viewer. Like, whether you like Destiny or not today, it's just like if I'm going to do a high-profile debate, I watch that one the night before to hype myself up. Because it really is a really good example of how to debate like that kind of person who really like wants to keep the mask on. Like it just, all he does in it is ask questions. Rarely does he go on the offensive. Well, he's on the offensive, but he's doing it in a questioning way. He just constantly asking JonTron questions, constantly poking holes in the dog whistles to like reveal what's actually behind them. Very, very good debate strategy. Definitely recommend watching it. Whether you like Destiny or not, it's worth giving a watch. Plus, it's him debunking Nazi talking points. Like, what it can't be that hard to watch as a lefty. Come on.
A failure. I went on wanting to try to, like, I don't know, figure out what went wrong, I guess. And when this audience of people saw me do that, what they saw was weakness. And they took that weakness as a sign to go on the attack. And that
no. Oh my god. Stop ascribing this weird, like, animalistic savagery to our audiences. What is this shit? Do they think that our audiences are like the fucking Horde from World of Warcraft? Blood and honor! We see weakness, we kill! What do you think we are? No! Noah, our audiences were upset because you put out a hit piece video designed to harm our reputations and were unable to provide any decent arguments in said video, then followed that up with a conversation with Vaush in which you were unable to defend any of the points that you made, following that up with you unlisting the video, seemingly as a conciliatory admitting of the video's misinformation, then putting it back up on the internet for everyone to see, making it public again, after now we realized Destiny's audience had come and reacted to the video and gone after you, so it was done literally for nothing other than to avoid criticism.
That's what they did. They took whatever they could to discredit me, and now because of this, they feel justified, vindicated even, in bullying me into silence. Cancel culture, the woke Twitter mob strikes again.
He actually did it. Holy shit, I don't have to post my dick on Twitter. He actually did it. He actually, at least he's self-aware. At least he's self-aware. At least he's self-aware. My biggest issue with Noah's OG video was the non-arguments, just posting a random clip. He does this again right here. Oh, that's good. Okay, by the way, naming a video the Vaush effect, just... I feel like if I were Vaush, I would just want to go back to like 150k subs and just chill there forever. You know, I feel like after 150K, Vaush started to get so popular that it just got to be. I can't imagine the amount of shit he gets, like in full magnitude. I gave him the one. Okay, I could not believe it. I could not fucking believe it when I told him about the Twitter one-click block add-on, and he was like, "Zan, wait, there's a Twitter one-click block add-on?" I was like, you've got like 250K subs. You don't know about the Twitter one-click block add-on? Have you been like manually blocking everybody this whole time? Yeah, he uses it now though. Thank God. So that's a must-have.
One thing that's been brought up a few times is the question of where do we draw the line between criticism and harassment? Where does warranted punishment for having a bad take turn into abuse? I think making this distinction at times can be difficult, but I think in the case of larger...
I don't actually mute my own name. I've just literally like blocked most of the crazy people that like to frequently harass me. I don't generally like block people who have disagreements with me, but I'll usually block like the deranged types.
Streamers like Vaush, there are factors about their medium which can elevate standard criticism into harassment territory.
You forgot the bit about how people are mad you were lying, Noah. No, wait. This is what upsets me so much, because now the implication of this, the implication of this video now is, it is immoral, regardless of context, for a large audience to come together to engage in a campaign of shit-talking another person on the internet. He's claiming right now, almost like implying it, I guess, that is never okay. And I'm sorry, but did you see Noah Samsen or any of his ilk complain about Kethel's ratioing J.K. Rowling and sending her massive Twitter following? No. Because we're okay with it if it's a bad person getting dogpiled for the right reasons, while we are not okay with a good person getting dogpiled by bad people for the wrong reasons. It is the context that justifies a large amount of people dogpiling someone online. I think Noah Samsen, at the very least, getting a lot of shit for not taking the video down, just people saying, delete the video, you fucking dummy. That is not harassment. That is not harassment. It isn't. And I know Noah Samsen got a lot of comments like that, and I will refuse to own up to those comments as being harassment. If they were actual attacks, those are harassment. And I know for a fact that Vaush's community, as well as mine, have been banning people who engage in harassment towards Noah if the attention is brought up to us. And I know this because White Nervosa and Mythaldu, when this video came out, were publicly making examples of anybody in Vaush's community or mine that they banned cross-platform for harassing Noah Samsen following the release of the video. Made examples of them publicly. Oh yeah, Noah blocked Mythaldu on Twitter, despite the fact that Mythaldu was making a public example of anybody that was harassing Noah. Yeah, it really is just... Also, like, to argue that as a left-wing figure, insinuating that I'm racist in your video with no evidence isn't encouraging harassment of some kind against me is ridiculous. Also, Noah Samsen literally said in his video, go comment on Xanderhal's video, Squid Gang, which... is about as close as you can say to your audience, go brigade a content creator I don't like, without saying, hey audience, go brigade a content creator I don't like. Squid Gang is what they had him comment, or he had them comment. Like, why would he tell his audience to go comment that on my video if it wasn't clearly... Yeah, it reminds me of the hiss thing. Remember when Leafy is here? Would tell his audience to go comment hiss on like every single video. This is an old like 2015 meme, but like that was like a huge epidemic on YouTube. It was a way of brigading without saying anything that could potentially incriminate you. That's what it came off as to me. I feel like enough time has passed that I can say it, and I feel like Noah Samsen's demonstrated that he's not acting in good faith enough for me to say it. Like, it felt like it was him wink wink nudge nudge telling his audience to go brigade my channel.
quicker and more easily than creators in other mediums. It can also sustain this harassment for longer than it might elsewhere. And this is really more of a theory derived from what I've seen these creators say and my own experiences. But like, okay.
As co-head Vaush Cord mod, we do our best to stomp out harassment. Oh, I know you do, Posadas John. I've seen you in there. You be stomping that shit out. Aren't you the new, yeah, you're like the head, aren't you like the head mod now? I thought I saw like an announcement saying that you're in charge of things now, Posadas John.
You have a few thousand people watching you, giving you positive feedback, and that feedback is reciprocated. The chat's like, oh man, they're doing you dirty, man. It's super fucked up what they're doing to you, dude. Oh, they're really bad. And sometimes the streamer's like, you know what? Yeah, they are fucked up, dude. Fuck these guys. I hate them.
Wait, is he mad that my audience agrees with me? He's pointing out that my audience agrees with me. Sure.
Spit on him, and the chat's like, yeah. A lot of times the chat wants blood.
Yes, that is true. You know what? Noah Samsen stole that from me. That is a point that I made in my video. That is true, though. I don't think this is applicable in this scenario because he's using this argument to defend himself when it's not warranted, but I made this point in my video shitting on this, like where I was criticizing like the Debate Bro format myself as a Debate Bro streamer. And I said, the audience very often wants blood, and that can lead many times to like this weird pressure to engage in conversations in a way you don't want to, but in a way that will instead please your bloodthirsty, content-wanting audience. You know? Hey, politically provoked. How are you on your third account? Wait, how are you on your third account? Wait, what? Why not just log into the first one?
This is something that has been acknowledged within the community. Now, I'm really not trying to point the finger of blame in any one direction here. This process has a lot of moving parts. You have the creators themselves, their orbiters, the communities, the subreddits, the forums, the hours and hours and hours of streams, the comment sections, where the spiciest, most sick.
This is the internet, dog. You're a fucking YouTuber. How do you not know this? This is just the internet. Like, why are you pinning the internet on Vaush? I don't get it. This is just how the internet is. Like, I'm not defending it or anything here. It just feels so weird to frame it as though, like, Vaush, someone who went out of his way to try to discourage his audience from attacking a person who honestly probably didn't deserve the charitability, since it was very clearly just a hit piece video with no substance or good criticism, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't even think he needed to do that in the first place, and now Noah's gonna try to ascribe the natural state of the internet onto Vaush.
Sycophantic takes are rewarded with the sweet, sweet dopamine of likes and faves and retweets and reposts. And all of it coalesces into one single force field that incentivizes drama farming and misrepresentation. Maybe we could term this the Vaush effect or something, because I think a lot of times criticisms against him are actually criticisms of this effect. But this energy bounces back and forth between fandom and creator until narratives.
Oh my god, he's going to name just a basic thing of the internet, the Vaush effect. He's actually going to name the concept of an audience defending the creator they like in response to made up accusations, and he's going to call it the Vaush effect. Oh, yeah, baby, let that settle in. That is what cringe sounds like. If you ever wondered what cringe sounds like, that was what cringe sounds like.
Are formed. And then those narratives are used as justification for all kinds of bullying, harassment, and coercion against perceived adversaries.
Tina Belcher impression.
And given the distance and speed at which these narratives can travel, a lot of times there's enough space between...
Oh, me and Lonnie started watching Archer. We're on like episode 6. Pretty funny show.
The actual harassment.
Sam Cedar, like, did voice a character in it at some point, right? I know he's voiced characters in Bob's Burgers, but I feel like there's no way Sam Cedar didn't do like at least one
going on and the creators that it's really difficult to hold people accountable. But what's worse is that sometimes
the fact that like the other day I was telling my mom about like the YouTube like lefty community, and I was trying to think of any figures that she might know of. The first one I came up with was Cenk Uygur, and my mom was like, Cenk Uygur's a misogynist, because my mom knew about TYT and like Cenk Uygur and all that back in the old days, if you guys know what I mean. My mom's not a big fan of TYT or Cenk Uygur because of their old reputation. Then I brought up Sam Seder, and I said, wait, Sam Seder, he does like a live sort of left-wing show. He also voices the health inspector in Bob's Burgers, because my mom likes Bob's Burgers, and she was like, oh, that's cool. And so I guess my mom does know one of these terminally online lefty figures through TV, and I thought that was pretty interesting. Like the degrees of separation. Tell your mom about me. I think my mom knows about you because I said I watched a Shoe on Head video that said change your pillowcases to help with acne, and then I did it, and then it helped with my acne when I was a teenager. And drinking more water. Yeah.
times you get creators directly calling for the harassment, dogpiling, or brigading of other creators. If you're familiar with these spaces, you're probably familiar with this approach. Recently, Vaush did this to a creator some of you may know. Her name is Natalie Wynn.
I was like 17, by the way, when this happened. Just clearing that up. This wasn't like yesterday. I was like 17. I watched a Shoe on Head video and I had some acne, and I was like, and she like mentioned, change your pillowcases for God's sakes, men. Something like, it was like, men, for God's sakes, drink water, change your pillowcases, something like that. And I was like, oh, okay. And I started drinking more water and changed my pillowcase, and it worked.
Okay, ContraPoint's Left Tube's mom.
And I lost my virginity a year later. Thank you, Shoe.
Aftermath of the Vaush, J.K. Rowling, ironic misogyny debacle, none of those words are in the Bible, Natalie criticized Vaush for centering himself in the conversation on trans advocacy.
Oh, wait, are we doing this now? Oh, boy, hold on. We need to rewind this. I wasn't even paying attention. I forgot. I was just memeing around.
Of bullying, harassment, and coercion against perceived adversaries.
Coercion.
And given the distance and speed at which these narratives can travel, a lot of times there's enough space between the actual harassment going on and the creators that it's really difficult to hold people accountable. But what's worse is that sometimes you get creators directly calling for the harassment, dogpiling, or brigading of other creators. If you're familiar with these spaces, you're probably familiar with this approach.
Can I, really quickly, I'm sorry, I feel it would be remiss of me not, I also like how the top comment on Noah Samsen's video is from Cat Black. Second one is on Vadim. I unfollowed Vadim on Twitter. I'm sorry. Vadim's like on board the VDS train, fully in support of all the Noah. I can't. I'm sorry, Vadim. You make great videos and you made some of the best videos out there, but like you have repeatedly taken the wrong side of this at every turn. And it's actually kind of heartbreaking, considering that Vadim was one of the very first larger left tubers that ever talked to me or collaborated with me. And I really enjoy his videos. They're very good. Some of the highest effort. Like, listen, if you think Noah Samsen edits his videos, you've not seen a Vadim video. He used to go by Creationist Cat. Just fucking banger content. It's such a shame nothing of value is lost. And I disagree. Like, I just feel like he's made some fantastic content, like dunking on the quartering and stuff, particularly. Like the start on, I don't know. It's sad. Though I feel it'd be remiss of me not to show the bit these to the sidelines, because their identities are like bad optics. I don't believe in that. Okay? Optics are important, but they're not everything, right?
But that was only...
I love how he took a bit from me saying that it's bad when it was literally me arguing against the talking points on the left that like the people trying to exclude people with neopronouns and xenogender identities and stuff. It was literally me arguing against the exclusion of those identities and saying that it's bad to try to argue that they make the left look bad, because we shouldn't compromise our principles for the sake of optics. I forgot that he like took clips of me saying based good things and then like would do a little bit where he'd say, oh, Zan, good for you having that take. And it's like, I wasn't asking for any claps. Why are you doing the sarcastic clapping thing as if I was asking for any? Like, what? I don't know.
after the Gamergate tirade spilling out of him.
Oh, here it is.
Condescending, trans people with
high and
pink hair.
mighty.
So it's stuff like this that makes me wonder about the boundaries of what these communities are able to accomplish, and whether or not the high regard debate lords seem to hold themselves in is warranted. But you can decide that for yourselves. See the current state of the valiant white debate lord saviors of the American online left.
Stop it.
He'll probably complain about being clipped out of context, but I mean, the full video's there. It's a full video. You can watch the whole thing. Also, if you do go there, don't say anything mean, please. Just comment Squid Gang with 6 G's. But that's all I really need.
Come on. What is the purpose of that other than to essentially emulate the Leafy Hiss thing, which was just a way for him to be a shithead and tell his audience to brigade other channels without them saying anything so distinct that it could result in him being penalized for engaging his audience to do harassment? Like, come on, dude. Come the fuck on.
Recently,
Though I will admit, it drives up the engagement. Drives up the fucking engagement. I'm not complaining. I want to make it clear. I'm not bitching or complaining. It helps me and it drives up the engagement. But I am still calling out the bullshit argument he's making.
Vaush did this to a creator some of you may know. Her name is Natalie Wynn, aka ContraPoint's LeftTube's mom. In the aftermath of the Vaush J.K. Rowling ironic misogyny debacle, none of those words are in the Bible, Natalie criticized Vaush for centering himself in the conversation on trans advocacy. And then
let me go ahead and explain what actually happened. Vaush reached out to Cat Black because Cat Black had an issue with Vaush making a joke about J.K. Rowling and women shut up, whatever. You guys remember the drama. I don't need to go over it again. And Cat Black took issue with it and made a public thread, basically talking about it. So Vaush reached out to Cat Black and messaged her in private, trying to resolve the disagreement in private like adults without making it a whole big thing. Cat Black then proceeds to respond to accusations of her being obsessed with Vaush because of the initial thread that she had made, by saying, "The closest I've ever been to being obsessed with Vaush was the few days that we texted a few years back." And then just drops that for fucking no reason whatsoever. The fact that they were like sexting, like, okay, cool. Or sext. Yes, chat. We're sexting a while back, like back in 2019 or something. I think it's clear what. Yes, it was a long time ago, okay? It was 3-4 years ago at this point or something. Anyway, you said texted? Sexted. Sorry, sexted. Sexted. So Cat Black just decides to drop that for no fucking reason. And I just want to say, by the way, if I'd had like any type of sexual relations with like a female content creator on the platform who also did this type of content, then got into a Twitter argument with her, and then dropped the information that we'd like sexted or had sex or something, my career would be over. That would be career ending. And it would be because I'm a guy. Let's be clear, okay? Let's be clear. That would not be something I'd get away with, and it shouldn't have been something that Cat Black got away with. But she then proceeds to drop all of their DMs about like their conversation they had about their disagreement, not the sexting DMs, in a big thread for people to read, while also going in another deranged thread about her relationship with Vaush and how Vaush is bad again. Then Vaush responds to that on stream, and she responds Vaush responds and like she starts talking to Professor Flowers about their phase they both went through where they were both attracted to white leftist men with beards and how it's okay they both went through this phase. It was really weird. They were just replying to each other talking about their white leftist men with beard phases and how they're out of it. It is so fucking weird. And then Vaush responds to that by saying, are they like doing some weird like fetishing, like race fetish shit? And then like fetishizing white dick or something. And then Cat Black, who is watching the Vaush stream, then responds by tweeting about Vaush's dick and claiming that it's small on Twitter. And just keeps going. And then through all of this, ContraPoints decides to drop in, defend Cat Black, and pretend like none of the shit that Cat Black had done had actually happened, and then burns the bridge, at least what I could tell with Vaush, essentially. Yeah, I would say that that ContraPoints was about 100 billion trillion % in the wrong in all of this, and I'll stand by that point. I don't hate ContraPoints or anything, I just think she really missed the mark in this one just to defend her friends, and that's clearly what it was to defend her friends.
And during his stream, Vaush said this.
The thing that really bothers me is, like, is this not exactly like all of the woke scolds who would reply to ContraPoints and say stuff like, are you done invalidating the voices of trans women who have been hurt by your content? It's such a shitty, presumptuous woke scold kind of behavior because you're presupposing, yeah. The more of you are in the replies being like, that's not what's happening right here. Like, this is necessary, okay? Publicly shame her into changing her mind on this.
So what he...
Wait, what? Wait, that's your example of Vaush encouraging harassment? Well, there you go. Vaush encouraged harassment by saying it is good when his audience replies, ContraPoints, you're wrong about this, here's why. As a way of shaming her into changing her mind, which is what you do when you argue against someone when they're wrong. You shame someone into changing their mind by proving they were wrong. It's how you change someone's mind. I don't... What is this?
He did here is harassment. With 7,000 people watching, he made an explicit command to his supporters, telling them to go pile onto Natalie.
Damn, wait, how many people did Noah Samsen tell to go brigade my video? How many people did Noah Samsen tell to brigade my channel? 251,000 people Noah Samsen instructed to go brigade my channel. That is how many times my sub count again? Someone in chat can do the math for me. It's a few times my sub count.
With support for his position until she changed her mind, or, you know, bent the knee, as it were. And lo and behold, his audience followed suit. And shortly after this...
Oh my god, do we need to actually, like, click and read all of these?
Pile onto Natalie with support for his position until she changed her mind, or, you know, bent the knee, as it were. And lo and behold...
Well, she didn't change her mind. God, just flash them on screen so fast, I gotta really pause.
And lo and...
Ooh, couldn't even catch that one. Okay, let's slow it down. We gotta slow down the speed so we can actually read these. Okay. Slow down the speed then. Sure.
Natalie with support for his position until she changed her mind, or, you know, bent the knee, as it were. And
so you don't defend the misogyny, but you defend misogyny in the service of hating the transgenders. I honestly don't get it. Read the DMs or do yourself a favor and stop weighing in on a subject that you haven't properly filled yourself in on. Jesus fucking Christ. She literally admits that she hasn't read the DMs right after this. This is a completely valid response. This is not harassment.
Lo and behold...
I would be if I was ever mad at that, Nat. If that was ever the argument. Is that not ContraPoints there? Why did they censor the line? I can't even read the... Is this Contra... Why did they censor ContraPoints, and why did they censor out the tweet? Oh my god. Is this the tweet where she admits that she hasn't read the DMs and he censored it? I hope not. That better not be the case. Maybe it's just stuck from the previous frame. Oh, that's true. Yeah, editing this fast can be hard. Yeah, it's probably just the same blur effect stuck from the previous frame, because it can be really hard to sync up like a blur effect like this with a scene, like a cut. Like, you have to line them up perfectly, otherwise, like, the effect might last longer than the cut, like, into the next cut. That's happened when editing videos to me before. It's kind of just a pain in the dick, especially when you've got a lot of things. Like, I know how hard this edit would be. It's probably not intentional. Sorry, my bad. I trust me, like, this most definitely wasn't intentional. I've tried to edit, like, fast cuts with things on screen before, and it's really hard to get the effects and the areas where the cut starts and ends perfectly lined up so the cut doesn't, like, sort of flow into the next frame. And you have to, like, sometimes even line up, like, the fade out speed so that the effect fades out at the same exact time as the image on screen. It's easier to do with keyframes, but it's, like, kind of, you know, tough for me at least.
His audience.
So you don't defend the misogyny, do you defend the misogyny? Blah, blah, blah. He said it is correct to call out his misogyny. This drama is from Kat agreeing with JKR's logic that the misogyny in his tweet is indicative of trans women at large. He agrees the misogyny was bad and shouldn't have done it. This is harassment. This is harassment to Noah Samsen. Any defense or disagreement against accusations of wrongdoing are harassment to him.
Follow.
Not even close. He's not, but it's not about the misogyny. Oh my God, just listen to the stream and what he's saying. He does not defend misogyny, period. Nobody's harassing her. They're all trying so hard to get her to agree. Like, they're like, Contra, please. Just stop for a moment and think.
Suit.
None of this is harassment as well. Very good to see. None of these are harassment. Guys, is it maybe indicative that he showed these tweets? These are the tweets that he showed to demonstrate Vaush telling his audience to harass ContraPoints, and they're this bad, and he showed them, each of them on screen for like half a second. Probably like so fast that I had to slow down the speed of the video just to be able to read them. I had to slow the video speed down to 0.75 just to be able to read these, just to be able to pause them fast enough to be able to read them. If this is harassment, then what he did to you is fucking malicious assault. I'll show Luna at the end of the segment. Hey chat, listen. If we hit the dono goal, $400, I'll show Luna at the end of the segment. Promise.
And
he's not defending the misogyny. Harassment.
shortly after.
As you admitted previously, I think it'd be a good idea to actually look at what arguments, at what the arguments are then. This is in response to ContraPoint saying she hasn't even read the DMs or read any of the like context of the situation. You're kind of showing you jumped in without knowing what the context is, Queen. You don't get it. Stop trying typing about it in public, maybe? He's not defending the misogyny. He's conveniently sidestepping the misogyny. Get it right, Mom. No, this was never about defend. This is somebody defending with ContraPoint, like agreeing with ContraPoints. How fucking bad can this be? No, this was never about defending the misogyny. Contra, I like you more than Vaush, but they're right here. This is harassment? Contra, I like you more than Vaush, but they are right here. This is Vaush's community harassing Contra.
For this,
Contra, first thing he said was that he did not defend the misogyny. That is not the position he laid out. He's not defending the misogyny. He openly admitted that the misogyny was cringe. His position is that focusing on the ironically misogynistic joke he made and making out as if it validates transphobes is bad and cedes ground to said transphobes. The argument wasn't about misogyny. He had to read these screenshots, by the way, in order to include them in this video. You know that, right? Like, it's editing doesn't... Like, he didn't edit this video as fast as these show on screen. He had to, like, go to the replies of the tweets, screenshot them, read them, look at them for possibly several hours on end while editing this video, and doing all the different edits, especially while putting the blur effect on these and everything. Like this was not... This isn't an accident. He hopes nobody reads these.
Natalie.
No, he had stated multiple times he accepts the criticism for the misogyny and that the joke was bad. He said he doesn't defend the misogyny and the critic. Have I shown enough of these to prove that, like, this is dishonest? I feel like we don't need to read any more of these tweets. I feel like I've read enough of them to demonstrate how dishonest this is.
He ended up locking her Twitter account and blocking Vaush. Now, I'm not a mind reader, okay? I can't pretend to know exactly what her motivations here were for doing these things. But what I can tell you, as someone who has gone
she wanted to defend her friends. Trust me, I know the internet very well. She was defending her friend.
Through what I would consider a similar experience, being dogpiled by Vaush fans, this response does not surprise me at all. In the face of being flooded with massive amounts of undue condescension, I completely understand the decision to go private and block him. It doesn't matter how big your platform is or how experienced you might be, this stuff can really take a toll on you. This dogpiling is one of the things that drove Lindsay Ellis, another prominent video
Are you fucking serious, Noah? Are you fucking serious with me, Noah? Do you know why, Lindsay Ellis? Do you know why our sweet, lovely author, book reviewer, and writer Lindsay Ellis is no longer with us anymore? Does anyone remember exactly what group and what accusation she was facing completely unjustly that caused her to have to leave the internet forever? It was because she said that Raya the Last Dragon was derivative of Avatar the Last Airbender, so lefty Twitter accused her of being racist for it, to the extent that she was unable to get out of bed in the morning because she was so depressed and was, as she said, shitting blood. So stomach ulcers and shit. Serious physical responses to stress and depression was the response to that type of behavior. Now, where have I heard falsely accusing a large lefty content creator of racism with absolutely no evidence for no reason? Who does that sound more like than Vaush or me? Who's that sound more like than Vaush or I? Who does that sound more in line with? What group of people do you think Noah probably fits more with in this scenario? How the fuck can you weaponize? This is like conservative. Oh my god. You know what this is like? This reminds me of like when conservatives were like back in the day, super racist conservative politicians push policies in large cities that like cause the like massive socioeconomic disparity between the black and white populations in these cities, and then these cities end up, because of their like mostly black population, electing Democratic politicians, and then the Republicans blame all the things the Republican politicians cause on the Democratic politicians and try to make it look as though the Democrats are the real racists, because look at the large cities where most of these black people live that were fucked up due to conservative right-wing racist policies going back hundreds of years in these cities. It's just like that. Like, oh, we did a horrible thing, let's blame the other guys for it and say they did it. The guys who, by the way, me and Vaush were the fucking first to put out videos in Lindsay Ellis's defense during all of this. You know who didn't come out in Lindsay Ellis's defense during all of this? Basically any of her friends, if I remember correctly. Did ContraPoints even say, like, I think Sean did ContraPoints even come out in Lindsay Ellis's defense? Like, I don't even think most of the video essayist, like friends of Lindsay Ellis even came out in her defense during all of that. You know, and, oh, Sean was attacking Lindsay. Oh, Sean jumped on board and attacked Lindsay. Oh, Sean, somebody who's on board, who's in the video essayist bubble with Noah Samsen. Huh. Wow, this video is worse than Noah's original. I can't believe he put this video. He might take this video down. Like, this response so far, we're not even halfway through. This is worse than the last video. I'm having an easier time debunking these things, and I feel like he's coming out of this worse than he did last time. Like, holy shit. He should not have made this video.
Essayist into quitting YouTube altogether. I mentioned before how Vaush offered me a cat.
I'm excited to see Vaush's response now. One of my favorite things, people accuse me of being a Vaush clone, which is really unfortunate, because I actively go out of my way to not watch essentially anything that I plan on covering if Vaush has covered it prior. And I generally try to avoid watching much Vaush content in general to make sure that like the natural sort of rubbing off of certain behaviors of a content creator that you watch doesn't happen, because I try to like prevent that accusation. But one thing I do enjoy is when I cover a topic before Vaush does, and then I go watch his coverage and see what I called out, or the points that I made that he missed, and the points that he noticed and knew and made that I missed or didn't know. So it's kind of like peer reviewing your work a little bit. It's kind of fun. It's actually kind of fun. It's better for like arguments and stuff. Oh, I covered this Ben Shapiro video claiming that systemic racism isn't real. Well, I made these arguments. Let me go watch Destiny and Vaush's coverage of it now to see if I missed anything, and here's some new arguments, and then I'll learn some new arguments from those, and I'll carry those with me. I think it's completely fine to do.
Cash bounty of double my ad revenue if I deleted my video. Well, when I did actually take the video down for a short period of time, he made a point to say that while his offer did still stand, it wasn't meant to be like a threat. It was intended as more of a chest-beating mafia style sort of bluff thing.
It does make me look bad though. It was meant to be kind of like a mafioso chest beating thing, which I only did because I've been sort of compromised by this, you know?
Which in a way I understand. I didn't see it as a malicious thing. The problem with that though is what this sentiment results in. When Vaush says stuff like this, He might be using ironic bravado or whatever, but his following, when they say it, when they call me a spineless loser that should delete his channel and make fun of me for stuttering and
Wait, what? This video and the conversation between Vaush seems like two completely different people. Such a perfect exemplifier of why debate is important. Noah blatantly lied for over an hour, hopped into Vaush's call, and got blown the fuck out, stuttering with no responses. What a coward. Wait, they're not making fun of him for having a stutter. They're making fun of him because when Vaush would ask him a very simple question, he would go, and then go silent for like 30 seconds before saying, I don't really know, man. I guess I don't have anything for that one. Like, that's what these people are. Wait, I heard the accusation of people being ableist towards him and making fun of him for a stutter, but like, this isn't making fun of him for like a stutter. This is making fun of him for the fact that he literally couldn't, I don't know. That's ableism. I don't think they're targeting a stutter as in the like, I don't know what a stutters are caused by like a mental condition, right? It's like a tic type deal. I don't know exactly how it works. Anyway, everybody has a stutter to a degree, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they should have said stammering rather than stuttering for like a more accurate. Thank you for banning that person. I was hoping a mod would have gotten to it sooner. I don't feel like derailing the whole segment just to. Yeah, like they could have just used that word instead, but like this doesn't seem like they're trying to be ableist and make fun of a stutter. Come on. This is such a reach.
Various other bad stuff. They mean that shit. These people become emboldened by this rhetoric to act in a manner that might on the surface just seem abrasive, but in actuality ends up being just genuinely abusive and coercive. And much like how each tweet from his
abusive and coercive, arguing against somebody who's wrong. There we go.
Fans that went after Natalie all berated her with the same message, that she's wrong, with the intent of bullying her into changing her mind. Each comment on my video was essentially a copy and paste.
Hey, don't pause any of those tweets and read them, for God's sakes. I don't feel like we need to pause and read every single one of them. We read like 10 of them, and I feel like we got the gist that he's just showing tweets of people disagreeing with ContraPoints.
Of his statements, with the intended goal of bullying me into deleting it. I'm not liking this floof here. How do I get rid of the floof? Haircut? Is that how you do it? It does make me wonder, like, how much of this is motivated by his fans' genuine beliefs, and how much of it is them just following orders. And while the exact ratio may be tough to find, I do know that were he not to
Long live Keffels. Keffels never followed me on Twitter. I ended up muting Keffels on Twitter because I never got the Keffels follow, and then I tried to like build some form of contact with Keffels, but she never like responded or anything, and I kind of got the message she probably doesn't like me very much, but I constantly see her Twitter posts, which is kind of a downer knowing like this new up-and-coming creator doesn't like me for no reason, so I just ended up muting her.
Make these statements and commands, this
Did you catch the part about following orders, Xanderhal? He literally ordered his audience to go like brigade my video. He can't make this argument.
dogpiling would not be taking place. It's precisely this effect, the collective Vaush unconscious, that had me legitimately doubting my own intentions with my video. The influx of this type of stuff in the week after its release is part of what led me to actually
just following orders is not. Oh wait, fuck! I didn't even pick up on that. Holy shit! I wasn't even looking for like Nazi dog. I wasn't even looking for Nazi dog whistles in the video. Fuck! You know, my dog whistle alarm isn't usually on for lefty videos. I'm sorry. I apologize. Yes, just following orders, as he says about Vaush's audience, not at all implying that they are Nazis. Not at all making that baseless claim. Just following orders.
Actually taking the video down for a little bit. If you read things like this enough times, it really starts to get
people are mean on the internet. Whoa, man. Holy shit. Yeah, right?
Into your head. The combination of them being so confident that they're correct, while airing these feelings of
I'm sorry. Like, I'm telling you guys, they're against the idea of being confident in your positions, being able to defend them, and being like, yeah, you know what? Come on to my stream. We will debate about this topic. I will defend my positions. You are wrong, and I will prove it to an audience. They hate it. They fucking hate. How dare you be confident you're correct? This tells me that Noah Samsen must not be as confident that he is correct, which worries me if he has that position on most of his political ideas. Good night, Luna Loveless. Have a good night.
Of victimization with such condescension, this is what eventually results in people being forced to fall in line by this community. It results in damage control when things come out that make them look bad, and it's a really problematic dynamic. Another more recent example.
It results in damage control when things come out that make them look bad. Okay. Noah Samsen, you know this better than anybody. You knew it when you made your video trying to fuck up my YouTube channel. This is my job. This is Vaush's job. When you make an accusation about a left-wing figure as damning as they're a racist, homophobic, transphobic, whatever, that is a massive threat that you are making to their livelihood. And when you make it completely unfounded and are entirely unable to defend those claims in a conversation, yes, it's going to leave the audience of that creator who feels as though you're some asshole coming along trying to fuck up one of their favorite creators. It's going to leave a bad taste in their mouth, and they're going to defend their favorite creator against the bullshit you made up about them. I know it's inconvenient if you just want to, like, you know, say what you want about large creators, get all the views and clout from shitting on them that you naturally get from it, and then face no pushback for the lies you spread. Like, I know it sucks if that's your goal, but no, I'm not just gonna sit back and let you lie about me. And Vaush probably isn't gonna let you just lie back and let you lie about him to a massive audience, because fuck that. Fuck it.
Of this dynamic can be found in an extremely long and complicated interaction that Vaush had with the YouTuber Cat Black. To be clear, this one was a mess. As such, I'm only going to look at one specific example from it that relates to what I'm talking about here. I will try to give as much context as is necessary. So, around the time of Vaush's JK Rowling stuff, Cat made a tweet thread asking specifically trans women in her audience about the efficacy of the
Kind of feels like there's another creator this is happening to right now, Xanderhal. Who?
ironic misogyny Vaush displayed. So basically asking, what do we think about this? Vaush eventually messaged her about the thread, and they went back and forth. Kat ended up leaking these DMs when she felt that Vaush had misrepresented.
Do you think he will even acknowledge the sexting bit?
Presented their contents to his stream. So during this exchange, Vaush's community attempted to rewrite the order of events with the...
You know, at least he showed the tweet on screen for like half a second. Like, maybe at least, like, by the way, this all happened live on stream. You can't make the excuse that Vaush is trying to rewrite the order of events when, like, from start to end, for the most part, Vaush was live streaming Elden Ring, and, like, 10,000 people were watching live as it all unfolded. You can't trick us all into thinking that he's rewriting the story of events while you're trying to do that when, like, most of the people who are interested enough in this drama on me and Vaush's side of things to watch this response watched that drama stream probably and know you're full of shit, Noah. You are lying to the worst demographic to lie to right now. Many of them have like first-hand witnessed what actually happened and know you're full of shit. And yes, I would argue that she did sexually harass Vaush. If I had done this to, like, if Vaush had done this to the, like, reverse scenario, if I had done this to a female creator, it would have been career-ending. I'm sorry. But, like, outing a private sexual encounter with another content creator publicly, like, that is the kind of thing that gets you fired at a job. Like, going around telling, like, imagine you're at work, and then you start you have sex with, like, your coworker, like, you have sex with, like, the hot, you know, I don't know, secretary, who knows, and then you start going around the office telling everybody that you fucked the hot secretary. What happens at, like, the average workplace when you do that? Well, hopefully HR gives you a call and says, what the fuck? Stop. 1, sexually harassing your coworker. 2, stop sexually harassing all your coworkers as well, because that also counts as workplace sexual harassment. Like, I'm sorry, but you switch around the roles, and it's sussy, okay? Oh my god, and the tweet. Oh my god, does anybody have the Cat Black white dick tweet? Oh, please. Please, somebody post a screenshot to the cat black white dick tweet. Please. I need it. I need it. We have to. We have to read it and switch the roles. When we roll switch that tweet, it was fucking crazy how different it sounds when you roll switch that tweet from Cat Black. He shows it in 2 seconds. Perfect.
The goal of discrediting Kat by painting her as a sexual abuser. Their justification
This isn't it.
for this accusation was that Kat had made sexual comments about Vaush without his consent. Pictured here. What?
Yes, only this. Here it is. Okay. I want you to imagine this is Vaush's profile picture, this is Vaush, and this is Vaush tweeting. First of all, I'm a social justice white wizard. Do I like black pussy? Not necessarily my top choice, but I'll settle for it. I was underwhelmed in this particular case, though. I think mage is gender neutral. Shut up. Yeah, let's maybe not talk with, maybe Noah Samsen should not consider rereading this tweet from a roll switch scenario. It really is crazy how bad this tweet looks when you switch the places, right? How many of you were like shocked by how disgusting the tweet sounded once I reworded it with the roll switch? How shocked were you at how disgusting it sounded? And it's because you guys have a bias. When you hear a black woman, a black trans woman, shit talking a white man and his dick, it doesn't sound all that disgusting to you. But when you hear a a white man start shit talking the genitals of a black woman, now it sounds like some Nazi shit, doesn't it? It sounds disgusting regardless. Let's not pretend that a good amount of you didn't get a little bit shocked by just how disgusting the tweet sounds when role reversed. And it's because, whether you realize it or not, some of us do have some internalized biases when it comes to men and being sexually harassed. We don't really take it as seriously or feel like it's as disgusting. We don't have as much of a visceral disgust response to it because it hasn't been so negatively socialized in our culture like other forms of sexual assault have been.
What this accusation is leaving out, though, is that what she said here was directly responding to Vaush saying this on his stream while referencing Kat.
Yeah, Vaush, pretty much exactly what Kat states he's into. All right, are you guys ready for the mild...
Do you want to know what Vaush was responding to here? Noah Samsen's a liar, so he won't show it. Vaush was responding to the reply thread of Professor Flowers and Cat Black talking about their mutual regrettable phase of being into white bearded leftist men and going on this weird race fetish conversation publicly about Vaush. It was super weird. Someone sent it to him and this was his response. And then what we just saw then, where Cat starts talking about his dick, is a response to this.
Hot take in the universe, okay? Super idpol, like lefty black women who are like really condescending to white people in terms of their ability to engage in political discourse. Love fucking white dudes. It's the exact same reason that racist white guys all watch interracial porn to jerk off to. It's the exact same thing. It's identical. There's no difference. It's literally...
Not even referring specifically to Cat Black here, by the way, referring more so to a general, like, trend. Not even specifically referring to Cat Black.
Really the exact same goddamn...
Dude, Cat Black stands rewriting history. Noah's the same guy who argued that debate bros and live streams make it easier to misrepresent and dishonestly frame situations. It's all projection. It's always projection. It's always fucking projection, dude. It's always fucking projection. Always, always... Wait for it. Always.
Thing. It's true. I'm sorry, guys. People who have like racist thoughts tend to like weirdly fetishize like interracial race shit for like probably reasons they should be more critical of.
So neither of these things are good, right?
True.
Weird, sexually charged...
True. Everything what he said there was true. And what Noah Samsen's going to do here is like sideline the entire sexual like harassment thing and move straight on from it because Vaush is nothing but in the right in that and doesn't really make Noah's argument look very good.
Invasive race play fetish rants are bad. Body shaming and leaking DMs are also bad, generally speaking. Her reasoning for leaking the DMs justifies the leak, in my opinion, but that's
Okay. He never made a race play joke? Oh no, Noah's just lying here. Yeah, I think we've made it pretty far into the video at this point to conclude that Noah's willing to just outright lie.
That's just me. However, while people can argue back and forth about which of these is worse, the point here is that the offensiveness of what Vaush said was almost completely ignored, while the offensiveness of what Kat said has been singled out and used as a line of attack. I'm not making a comment about which is worse. We shouldn't do either, but the point stands. Especially given that her tweet is directly responding to this invasive rant from Vaush. He said that stuff first. There is a different standard being
Yes, Vaush responded to public messages of me of talking to another person he's had drama with that are talking about their mutual phases of being interested in white bearded guys in specific reference to Vaush. She'd initially been the one to out that they had the sexual encounter or sexual sexting thing in the first place. And what Vaush said that Noah's trying to frame as provocative was literally him talking about a broader trend of racist people being super into interracial porn because they're super insecure or some shit like that, right? This was literally in every way unprompted by Cat Black. This is fucking insane. You could never get away with this if the roles were switched. It's actually insane how willing lefties are to stretch and bend and break their principles just because Vaush bad. She literally brought up how they sexted out of nowhere, unprompted. Yeah, and every single escalation she made was even more unprompted than I remember it being. I forgot that what Vaush talked about wasn't even necessarily I thought that Vaush had specifically commented that Cat Black and Professor Flowers were into that sort of thing. He'd only made a broader statement about it. Vaush comes out of it looking even better than I remember.
Being applied here by this audience.
And that's with Noah Samsen's dishonest editing.
Of people, and that's bad. Also, what's important to note here is that Kat later acknowledged her mistake in making this comment about Vaush in a tweet.
I should say, by the way, maybe it is cringe of me to be on here defending another content creator, though I feel this video is quite warranted in particular since it's a follow-up to a hit piece on me and he's defending this, but come on, Come on. It feels as though, every time I see somebody go after Vaush, it's oh, I'm one base takeaway from that motherfucker going after me. Happens every time. Xana Right-Winger I know said Noah is doing a great job. Yeah. Acknowledging doesn't equal an apology. Yeah, of course. Well, because she's not apologizing here. They aren't going to apologize. The woke scully types, they don't do that.
Thread. But did Vaush acknowledge making any mistakes here? Like talking about her in that manner on his stream? I don't know. And I have no
talking about her in that manner on stream. He didn't even talk about her in any manner on stream except for responding to what she said. I'm sorry, but not even your dishonest clipping was able to provide evidence contrary to that.
Plans of watching a 7-hour stream to find out. Maybe he did, but based on how his community still calls her a sexual harasser to—
Oh, he admitted he didn't watch the stream. Okay, he just admitted he doesn't plan to watch the full stream. Okay, cool. All right. Yep, no, he admitted he didn't even watch the full, stream. Okay. Too long didn't watch. Still made a response video to it, completely uninformed. And dishonestly clipped. Love to see it.
This day, I have my doubts. And okay, so another thing somebody might say here is, well, Noah, doesn't your video encourage people to dogpile onto debate bros? It does paint them in a pretty bad light. Why is what you've done just considered criticism, but when we do it, it's harassment? And the thing is, you would be right to ask these questions. I'm willing to acknowledge that videos like mine contribute to this culture. They create negative impressions that can lead to dogpiling. It took me going through all of this to realize that this is one of the responsibilities of having a platform.
No, you just make sure that if your audience is going to dogpile someone, it's somebody who actually deserves it. Someone who's actually someone like Matt Walsh, who's actively using the YouTube platform to build who literally just got outed for trying to lure in random trans people under false pretenses for an anti-trans documentary that he's making. Literally, he's tricking trans people to film like them and cut up like an anti-trans documentary without their knowledge, under the false pretense of it being a pro-trans documentary. He just got outed for it, and the documentary comes out very soon. These are the type of people that like Noah Samsen should be going after. And you know what? If he told his audience, go mass report Matt Walsh, no problem with it. Absolutely no fucking problem with it whatsoever. Because what Matt Walsh is doing is actually harmful. But what me and Vaush are doing isn't really harmful at all. Noah has nothing on us.
And it's something I plan on taking seriously moving forward. You can't control what everyone does online, obviously, but you can take steps to be more responsible. So something like making it clear to my audience that if they're going to comment on someone's work who I'm criticizing, don't do it unless you're going to be constructive, or at least not be a dick. But my video's lack of disclaimers is so much different than Vaush actively weaponizing his audience against other creators, dogpiling them and coercing them into getting what he wants. And I think that difference is worth taking into account. And despite this difference,
it's projection, by the way. It's projection, by the way. We all know that that's not what Vaush's intention was there when he asked his audience to reply to the Contra tweet telling her why she's wrong. Vaush likes ContraPoints and wants her to be informed on the situation before having such a stupid, uninformed take, which is why he was encouraging his audience to reply to her to fill her in. Enough replies means she's going to get the story eventually. Despite getting the story from all those replies, though, she decided to block Vaush and double down. I don't know what to tell you. Squid Gang is apparently constructive criticism. Sorry, Squid Gang with 8 Gs or 7 Gs. I forget which one it was.
Despite the fact that my video essay did not explicitly call for any public action against Vaush, as he's done here.
Are we just forgetting? He's not even gonna acknowledge any of the Xanderhal part of his video because he knows how impossible it is to defend, doesn't he? He knows how impossible it is to defend. It's the image, the one where it's me and Vaush standing together, and then the next photo I've been edited out. I've been edited out and replaced with a bass boosted fart noise because it's Noah Samsen's editing.
I do recognize that it still could have had the same effect, which again
also at the end he says stop watching Vaush and Xanderhal. He literally ends the video by saying stop watching Vaush and Xanderhal and doubles down on it and says he means it. It's not a joke.
Why, not just for streamers, but video essays too, and really everyone on this platform with a large audience, we need to be more responsible, especially when we're dealing with people who don't have our same level of protection. Now, I do want to be clear here. Once there was some communication between Vaush and I, once he was at least aware that the video I made did not set out to attack him unjustly, this condescension died down. After around this time, as far as I know, he didn't go.
Jesus Christ. I can tell by the lighting that the day has gone by for him. It was all sunny and bright when he started the video. It was like 11 a.m. and now it's like 4 p.m. and overcast.
Out of his way to stir up drama on his stream. The wave of these comments slowed. Also, a war started, so that could be part of it. But I didn't do that, so I would never do that. I hate war. He addressed our conflict on a recent stream and did so.
Hey chat, can I remind you what Vaush has done since Noah Samsen released his last video talking about Vaush and I, and what Vaush has done since then? Vaush has done several like 12+ hour streams of nonstop coverage of the Ukraine-Russia invasion, signal boosting the fact that Russia is committing war crimes and we're raising awareness about the events. Did a massive charity stream where he raised like it was 300k, 320k, over $250,000 for Ukraine. I mean, this happened before, but also raised like $250,000 for the PCRF. Before that, he raised like 50,000, 60, 80,000, like a lot, but not quite as much as before for Planned Parenthood. Like legitimately, and you know what Noah Samsen was doing while Vaush was doing that Ukraine stuff? Noah Samsen was making this video. During all of that, while Vaush was raising $250,000 for Ukrainians who are being invaded by Russia, Noah Samsen was making this video. And do you know what Noah Samsen's good buddy Hassan was doing? Denying the invasion of Ukraine and playing defense for Russia. Because, like, you know, Noah Samsen's a massive Hassan orbiter. Yeah, Noah's like a massive Hassan orbiter, yeah. Yeah. Like, most of Noah's audience came from Hassan reacting to his videos. Like, they share a massive amount of audience. Yeah. Because Hassan was reacting to Noah's videos on stream, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like right off the comparison between like what Vaush has done to help people in the world compared to what like Noah Samsen's been doing, like I feel like that alone should show. Like in the meantime, go ahead and ban that guy. I feel like in the time while this video is being made, this like hit piece lie-filled drivel was being made, Vaush was actually doing good for the world. It's so hilarious to me.
Though in what I felt was a fair manner.
Noah Samsen. I don't think that he's dumb. A lot of people in my community have said that he's dumb. I don't actually think that. I think that snark, when applied unwisely, can often come across as dumb because it gives the impression of a sort of confident ignorance of a subject.
I feel like the way the text on the bottom of the screen is being phrased is supposed to make it seem as though Vaush is saying this as though he is the arbiter of who is and isn't dumb. He's just giving his opinion to his audience in a segment. You ever notice like the biggest Vaush detractors like to pretend that whenever Vaush has an opinion on something, they like to pretend like he's saying that he is like the arbiter of that issue, and they pretend as though he thinks he's like the next coming of like Marx and Engels and Lenin. It's really weird how they sort of ascribe that tone and intention to his behavior. Maybe it's because this type of content, the type of content they make, is actually really preachy and pious, and they're just projecting that onto him. Maybe that's why.
You know, we'll see how things play out with him.
And I do appreciate this. But there's something missing here if I were to just leave it at that. Because while I'm willing to acknowledge that in our direct interactions, Vaush has been fair to me, what I can't look past is the way that through the mobilization of his community, he has caused harm. Not just to me, but to other more vulnerable people.
Here it comes, guys. Here it comes. Here it comes. Forget the fact that he sent his audience to brigade me. Here it comes, guys.
The backlash has been exhausting for me. I hit a low point during the weeks following my video's release, which was the lowest I've been in a long time. But the thing is, no matter how bad this experience might have been for me, ultimately, I've had it easy compared to others. And there are a few reasons for this. I am someone who already has a decently sized platform.
By the way, that's probably because Destiny covered your stuff. That is a common side effect of Destiny bringing you into his audience attention. That'll happen. Welcome to the club, buddy.
I have a base of online support, and from this direct material stability. I do this full time, and I have the freedom to take breaks when things get heavy. What's more is that I am also afforded certain protections that a lot of other people are not. I cannot be attacked in the same way that marginalized creators can, with the weight of actual discrimination and persecution compounding on top of these attacks, with the attacks themselves being capable of levying transphobia, homophobia, sexism, or racism, of attacking people for who they are. They can't do that to me. What this means is that there's a certain amount of deferential treatment going on here that I think is worth exploring.
Yes. Vaush's community would attack him for his identity if he was brown or trans or gay, but because he is, I assume, straight and cis, a white guy, that we can, unfortunately, we and our communities cannot insult him for being a minority, as you know, our community loves to. You guys know my community. We are very into the racist and homophobic, transphobic brigades. It is our bread and butter, our go-to. We're better at nothing else here, frankly. It's what we're known for. Very bigoted community. Yes, lots of bigoted harassment. That's what we love doing here. Yeah.
Deferential treatment in this case being from the communities that are motivated by Vaush's actions. If you want an example of what this deferential treatment looks like, all we have to do is look at what happened to Professor Flowers. Professor Flowers released a video last week that goes over her experience of dealing with the backlash from debating Vaush. In it, she describes how difficult it's been for her to get back to making videos. It's taken her over 6 months to...
Do you remember earlier in the stream when I said that when me and Vaush get harassment, we like hide it, bury it, and move on, unless it's like something we have to respond to or we can make content out of it, like for like memes and funny. And how I said people like Professor Flowers, Noah Samsen, Hassan, etc. like to platform the harassment they get and play the victim about it in order to get sympathy points, and it's literally all playing the victim for sympathy points. Professor Flowers also smeared the fuck out of Professor Sunday and Heem in this video. Yeah. Yeah, like... Super bigoted, transphobic, homophobic, racist pimp Xanderhal sends his audience to harass creators. Ah, yes. True. Like, I'm gonna be honest here, like... Has Noah Samsen ever once, like, platformed or signal boost, like, just full-on said, hey, go sub to their channel right now, like a smaller... like a much smaller like POC or marginalized creator? Because like my favorite thing to do is to find small channels, especially ones in my audience that are trying to start up, and give them that initial boost they need to get big. And naturally some of those like creators have been trans or POC or whatever, right? Like a pillow in chat. Like the hardest part of starting a YouTube channel is getting that initial push. So I like to use my audience to give people that initial push to start them off. It's very much needed to start an audience now. You can't start a YouTube channel without it nowadays. So I try to help out aspiring lefty creators in my community. This is not something I see Hassan, Professor Flowers, certainly not Noah Samsen do. Because I will literally do whole segments of my stream where I sit there and say, we aren't moving on to the next segment until blank hits blank amount of subscribers. Yeah, also supporting sex work, Lil BBG. I literally have like a command for her Linktree for like her stuff to be posted. Like literally, like, I don't know, I feel like I do a pretty good job of like trying to platform and support other creators that aren't cis white men debate bro. Like, I don't know, like I'm just not like I'm not the straw man he wants you guys to think I am. There's not really much else I can say than that. Youngblood95, thanks for the prime or for the tier 1 sub over on Twitch. Appreciate that. You are based
to do so, and one of the reasons for this is the racist harassment that she has experienced. And regardless of how you feel that she portrayed herself in their debate or in any subsequent videos or streams, this is something that should be unacceptable. I do recommend that you go watch her video. I'll leave it linked in the description. One of the most frustrating parts about this whole
still supporting Professor Flowers, of course. Guys, I'm willing to say it. The next SJWs are going to be this community. There is going to be a massive budding conservative community based on dunking on people like Noah Samsen, Professor Flowers, FD Signifier, Hassan. Already that's happening. Go down the list. These figures are gaining more and more bad will or ill will from the broader public every single day. Like, I hate to break it to you, but like, the broader like public, like the broader online public that knows of most of these figures does not like them based on their actions. Even the ones that don't like me. Like I see into those communities, like I'll look at the replies to like Bo Blacks, Nick Oreo, Turkey Tom, Augie's tweets, like when they were talking about this, even the replies were stuff like, I don't like Xanderhal or Vaush, but Noah Samsen's a dumb fuck. This is so stupid. Like even there, like the opinion of these new, and the problem isn't that like I disagree with their content. My problem is that like what I worry about is that people are going to think of this as being the left, because they're just like the broader public hates these like creators. They really do. Like every time they get any broader public like viewing, like from normies, they fucking hate them. They fucking hate them. And nowadays, and I hate to make it like to tell you, but elections are getting decided on by dumb fuck single issue culture war stuff. Like, elections are being won by that. Maybe not presidential ones, I won't go that far, but local elections are winning. People are winning local elections purely on single issue culture war issues, like the transport stuff, CRT, cancel culture, go down the fucking list. This is getting Republican politicians elected right now. Elected. I wouldn't call them dumb fucks. I forget who I called dumb fucks. I'm just... Listen, I basically black out and let the spirit of Z's take over every single time I go on a rant like that. Holy shit, you guys are dropping mad support right now. I want to read donos so bad, but I don't want to cut up this whole segment, so we'll do them at the end.
Thing is the fact that even by just mentioning her in this video, I have to contend with the fact that I might be reigniting some level of harassment against her and any of the people I mention. And that's just really shitty that that's how this has to be. I did get her permission to include her in this video, but the fact that I felt the need to ask, I think
I clearly don't have any lifters in my chat, do I?
as something. Anyways, let's look at one example of differential treatment from her situation. So this is a thumbnail from a prominent Vaush clips channel featuring an image of a photoshopped black Adolf Hitler. The video that this thumbnail is on is a segment from Vaush's debate with Professor Flowers.
That is Thermia.
The video is titled Vaush owns a...
What? Like, yes, it's funny. Vaush owns a black white supremacist in this debate. Yes. Yes, it's funny. And it's clickbait. Well, it's not even actually clickbait. It's actually accurate. But, like, is this not... This isn't even an account run by Vaush. This is a clip channel. And on top of that, what is wrong with owning a black-white supremacist? What is... Wait. Is Noah's issue going to be with insinuating that a black-white supremacist could exist? Professor Flowers said that she used to be a white supremacist, which is why he named it that, I think. Oh, really? Wait, she used to be a white supremacist? Wait. Are you serious with me right now? Are you serious with me right now? Listen, I won't judge anyone, like, if there were and aren't anymore, because they've changed. But you can't be such a judgmental, high horse, stick up your ass dickhead and accuse people with no evidence of being racist and then have a history like that. Oh my god. Oh no. Please, I need a source. I need a source. That has to be sourced. I can't move on until we get a source on that. Yeah, we can't move on until there's a source on that. If we don't get one within like 2 minutes, I'm going to fully retract everything I said there, because we need a full-on confirmation on that. Just because a lot of people in chat said it doesn't mean I should fully buy into it. Take what I said with a massive grain of salt then, because I don't have anybody sending a clip of that. It was just mostly people in chat saying it did happen, and I don't fully believe until the clip is provided. Probably going to ask Cherry to edit that part out of the segment when it goes up, because I do not... it's not confirmed, and we can't be doing that. We can't be doing that. We can't do that. We can't. The figures that I take issue with for real reasons. I don't need to make up lies about them to take issue with them. I got plenty of arguments and evidence that's real on my side already. Maybe they're mistaking her for FD signifier. I know for a fact that he said he used to spend time on Stormfront and other white supremacist message boards. Oh shit, Mr. Beard, you might be right. Maybe my chat are the real racists. Wait, are you guys the real racists? Oh no, Samsen was right. No, but for real though, if there is actually any evidence of that, I would like it. But until any evidence of that is provided, do not spread that. Do not believe that until it is proven, because you do not want to get called out or look like an idiot for spreading misinformation. And frankly, you shouldn't want to spread misinformation just principally in the first place.
Black white supremacist in this debate. It has been deceptively edited to make it seem as though Professor Flowers says things that she doesn't say. This includes a moment where they make it look like she calls her own father an oppressor because he's white. Many viewers took this at face value, commenting how messed up it was that she talk about her family like that, even though she never did. The account admits to having done this, but says that it's fine because according to them, she probably believes it anyway. This is something that should be unacceptable.
Yeah. it's a clip channel, but why is this on Vaush? Xanderhal, because Vaush is subscribed, therefore he knows, therefore it is his fault it isn't taken down. I guess this is like the strongest criticism in the video, I suppose. Like, I will disagree if like Thermia clipped a thing and transformed it into something it wasn't before. If Thermia took a clip where Professor Flowers says something and then edited it into something completely different, into a completely different point, and just totally admitted to it right there, which seems to be, at least that's how Noah's framing it. And I will say, Noah hasn't exactly been the most trustworthy so far as his word goes in this video. So I'll take his word for it and say if that's truly what actually happened, I will disavow that, and I will give that as a point to Noah. I'm a fair man. I'll give a point to Noah.
And before you say that it is, that this sort of behavior...
Xanderhal, don't take his word. Listen, this is like the smallest possible point you could ever concede. It changes nothing about the overall point of this response, okay? Or the overall point of this video. The one point that he could get on Vaush was a clip channel that included a small bit in which they apparently edited the conversation deceptively. A conversation that Vaush uploaded on his channel in its entirety that is fully available there. And he's trying to pin this on Vaush. Also, are we really, Noah? I'm not defending Thermia, but it's worth calling out. Don't throw a brick from a glass house, Noah. Your video was rife with dishonest, disingenuous edits, and honestly, most of your arguments were nothing but goofy edits.
Is denounced, and that members of Vaush's community are purged if they're found acting in racist ways. The channel has 25,000 subscribers. This is more subscribers than Professor Flowers herself has. Professor Flowers tweeted a screenshot of this thumbnail, which made the rounds. The video itself has 25,000 views and a 98% like to dislike ratio, and Vaush follows this account on Twitter. They know about this, they just don't care, or they don't see the racism. And I'm not really sure which one of these.
Noah, why were you racist against me by editing me in that way? I don't know, dude. Like, is insinuating that a black person could be a white supremacist racist? Like, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna go ahead and take a controversial take here. As edgy as it may sound, it's not that big a deal to make a video with a thumbnail where Hitler is black in it from a meme somebody else made. It's fine. It's fine. This is the internet. Maybe it's a little bit poor taste at most, but like, come on. Out of all the things to take issue with, especially compared to what Noah's done, if you actually think that's a big deal, then welcome to the internet.
Is worse, but I think both should be unacceptable. A related example here of this sort of different...
That's true. We did use the Nazi, like, black woman Wojak with, like, the Nazi uniform and the fucking flamethrower. We did use that in a thumbnail once. That was one of the best thumbnails Lonnie's made, for sure. I actually love that Wojak. That's one of my favorite Wojaks. I'm sorry. It really is one of the best.
Treatment is with a creator that I mentioned earlier, Cat Black. Now, in the past month or so, following this interaction with Vaush, Cat has mentioned how she's experienced racism from white leftists even more than she's seen from racist white conservatives. Now, for
I wonder if that might be indicative of something wrong, because usually when I talk to other live stream figures that do this content that don't have VDS, and I ask them, who do you get the most harassment from? If they're part of a marginalized group, the first thing they list is conservatives. If they're white and cis and heterosexual, the first thing they list is woke scolds on the left, and then conservatives. People in this community are always like dead last, the type of people that are harassing based on their identity. What are you talking about?
Context: Kat is someone who's been around on YouTube for a long time, since
True.
2005 to be precise. Goober Noah for scale here. This is me in 2005.
Hello.
Technically YouTubing, so that's cool. But my point is, Kat has been doing this for a while.
What the fuck were those?
That's cool. But my point is,
Are those salamanders? I think those are salamanders.
Kat has been doing this for a while. She was on YouTube at the height of the anti-SJW wave, through all the reactionary and alt-right stages of content creators, and she's still uploading today. So when she makes this comment that she's received, quote, way more shit from white leftists than she does from racist white conservatives, immediately following this
Wait a moment. I don't actually get a lot of shit from racist white conservatives on here, but I do get a lot of shit from white leftist folks. I would actually argue way more. Hey Noah, why'd you say that she said she got more racism from white leftists? She said she's gotten more shit. Not even she lied and said it was racism. Do you want to know why people like Kat Black claim to get more harassment from white leftist folks, by that she means Vaush fans, than racist white conservatives? Do you want to know why? It's because these fucking leeches have turned their entire online presence into a dedicated VDS or debate bro derangement syndrome cuddle hug space. That is what this space on Twitter and seemingly YouTube as well has become. They only ever go after, at this point, as far as Twitter is concerned, left-wing figures, other lefties, constant infighting. People like me and Vaush are usually quote tweeting and shitting on conservatives, unless we got, like, shit from a lefty in the first place. Zan, use another word? No.
way more shit from white leftists than she does from racist white conservatives. Immediately following this conflict with Vaush, with his identity politics arguments being spat at her online, well, that's something that should probably ring some alarm bells, no? A similar sentence.
Oh, wait. Oh. He's not even going to include the bit where Kat Black said... So what Kat Black actually said in the... We'll read this here, but what Kat Black said in the DMs was that... So Vaush asked Kat Black, would you rather me, like a woke lefty who's white, give a speech on race issues or Candace Owens? And Kat Black unironically said, after dodging the question about 50 times, unironically admitted, I would rather Candace Owens give a speech on race than you or a white lefty because she has the lived experience. And when I heard that, that's when I came to my ultra mega based conclusion that lived experience is nothing without data to back it up. Lived experience works well to add contextual anecdote on top of overwhelming data. Do you guys want to hear a very good example of a video that's meant to educate people on racism in America? Knowing Better made an amazing new video about neo-slavery. We watched it on stream. The full reaction I did will be going up on YouTube soon. Do not worry. It's going to be like a 4-hour video, though, so enjoy that. But it was very, very good. And what I love so much about the video was he talks about specific historical events, cites data and stats and surveys and references numbers and actual years and like events and whatnot, like actual hard data that you'd have to research in a book. And then on top of that, he adds specific anecdotal stories. He's white, though. Please, for God's sakes, listen to me. He adds specific anecdotal stories on top of the data and the historical narrative to back up what the data and the dates and the studies and everything show. Lived experience isn't worth that much without the hard evidence on top of it. It's like a cherry on top. You can't make a sundae with nothing but a cherry, right? You can't. But Xanderhal, he is white, who cares? The reason why I use the Knowing Better example is not because Knowing Better is has the lived experience, because Knowing Better referenced the lived experience of a particular person or people as sort of a break in between showing the data and the stats, including that lived experience and that anecdotal situation, supports and only lends more emotional, more of an emotional point, I guess you could say, to the data. Numbers and data on their own, if you're super logic-brained, are very useful, but the average person is very emotionally minded. They don't really care when they hear blah, 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 died here and here and here, but if you show them a video of children getting mowed down the street in a massacre, and it's not just numbers, now they're way more, like emotionally attached. Or even if you tell them the story of a kid who died in that massacre, they're way more emotionally attached to the issue. Numbers and stats just make you feel depressed. Individual personal stories and lived experience help you connect emotionally to the issue. But I don't know if a sole emotional connection to the issue is enough, at least certainly not for me, to be capable of defending my very radical left-wing positions, radical, in comparison to American politics, to a large audience. I need to be good at arguing my points, and I need to be able to have data, studies, facts, and historical like text and stuff on my side, as well as being able to say, by the way, here's a story of someone who went through this thing that I am using data to try to prove is a broader issue. I don't know. I feel like too many people on the left put lived experience before facts, unironically.
Alarm bells, no? A similar sentiment was expressed last month by Professor Flowers during another wave of harassment from Vaush fans. She wrote on Twitter, "I've literally experienced less racism growing up around white conservatives. There seems to be some sort of pattern here that may be worth noting."
Do you think that's actually true? Do you think it's actually true that Professor Flowers has faced more racism from Vaush's community than growing up around white conservatives? Something you'll notice, by the way, that I've realized is very common with like these sort of intersection of tankies and woke scolds is sort of this denial of the average like super far right Bible thumper Christian nationalist like Southerner being anywhere near as hateful as they are. Like lefties like this will say that all these like people living in the South and in the Rust Belt are like one conversation away from being DSA member card carrying leftists, and that they're just need class consciousness, when like they've never driven, I feel like, through backwoods Florida even. You drive like 30 minutes outside of Tampa, and there are Confederate flags on like half the houses you go down the street of. Not that there are much houses out there to begin with. It's mostly trailers and fucking barns. Like, and that's just Florida. That's Florida, which, I mean, is basically Georgia or Alabama once you kind of get out of Tampa or Miami or Orlando, or honestly, Tallahassee is still that, or like the Keys or whatever. Like once you get out there, it's Alabama, Louisiana, and fucking Georgia mixed all together. Once you get inland and on the coast of nowhere, Florida, like these people are not even close to amiable to like left-wing ideas. The majority of the time, there are plenty. I mean, our boy. Beau the Fifth Column lives out in Florida, but if you think Beau the Fifth Column is the norm, you are deranged. Beau the Fifth Column, a large part of his... Not that Beau the Fifth Column isn't great and doesn't make amazing videos and isn't deserving in a lot of popularity and a huge boost in growth, but a huge part of the gimmick that Beau the Fifth Column has is that he breaks the stereotype of a redneck Floridian guy who makes videos in his shed with all of his like lawn equipment and stuff behind him, right? You'd think he'd be on there ranting about Trump and Biden and the vaccines and everything. In reality, it is a calm, well-educated, well-composed, and well-delivered video about, left-wing ideas with that very endearing Southern twang he has. And that's what makes that video, him so special, and part of what made him such a noticeable and recognizable and large figure. That is not the norm. There are not that many Beau of the Fifth Columns out there. I'm sorry. And I don't believe that I don't believe that the redneck white conservatives that Professor Flowers grew up around were less racist, or were less racist than Vaush's community, or mine?
I don't know what it is, but it's super crazy. Oh my gosh, what happened? I don't know. One of the ways that Vaush and his community operate that serves to control the narrative is by outwardly and loudly condemning harassment when it is made public. I remember tweeting a screenshot of some harassment I received on Reddit DMs from a
I had one spoiler for this, and it was this, because White Nervosa and Mythaldu tweeted about it today, and I saw it on Twitter. Apparently, Mythaldu and White... So, Noah Samsen apparently accuses White Nervosa and Mythaldu of only banning people that were harassing him once it was made public as like a virtue signal. White Nervosa revealed that was a lie. White Nervosa actually showed that she was messaging privately Noah Samsen, like all the people they were banning, to let him know privately, and was only posting some of them publicly to make an example out of them so that anybody in Vaush's audience that might think to do otherwise would not do it. So yeah, legitimately just Noah outright lying. Yeah, and Noah never answered. White Nervosa sent Noah like a bunch of like, here's who we banned. Like they were doing this is why we banned them. Just want to make it clear we are not allowing this. And Noah Samsen never responded, completely ghosted White Nervosa. To be fair though, Noah Samsen messaged me like a couple weeks ago telling me he was making this video, and I did not respond to him because I was just like, oh, cool. You're just letting me know you're letting me know the next tip piece video is coming. And I just kind of like read it and then went on with my day, and I didn't respond.
Vaush fan a while ago. Members of his community, like mods, immediately came in and sort of made a display of the fact that the person harassing me had been banned, and that they
White Nervosa and Mythaldu debunked all of this on Twitter already.
They didn't tolerate that type of stuff. And while I'm inclined to say that this is a good thing, that this is what is supposed to happen, at the same time, I can't help but wonder, why is this still up? Obviously, they know about it, and they haven't done anything. And my guess is that when it comes to people that they've collectively decided are okay to punch down on, people like Professor Flowers,
Noah.
then there's no real incentive to crack down on this stuff. When the people at the top have signaled that being mean and dogpiling the bad people is okay, then why wouldn't?
Noah, if this is your real backyard, then by definition, your video on me was punching down. Do you know what my backyard looks like, Noah? It is a 6-foot by 4-foot slab of concrete outside of the sliding glass window of my apartment. Okay? Dog, how do you... Apparently this is a big yard in LA. If this is not a green screen and this is real, and it seems like it might be because time's actually passing and there's movement in the background. Maybe it's a video, I don't know. But like, if this is real, then like... Dog, why are you punching down on this smaller working class streamer just trying to get by, bro?
Anyone say anything? If it's not advantageous from a PR perspective, then why bother? A related point here, and something that Lua brings up in her video, is that examples like these really make you wonder just how much racist shit goes on in these spaces unchecked. How many so-called leftists from this community have felt emboldened by Vaush?
Wait, Professor Flowers is trans? Someone in chat said Professor Flowers is trans. She's not trans, is she? I thought she was cis. Is Professor Flowers trans? No, she's not? Oh, okay, yeah, like, okay. She's NB? Okay, well that counts, but, I mean, I meant, like, MTF. Okay. I don't know why someone in chat decided to say that, no. I don't think anybody... Wait, why were... Okay, yeah. Wait, were there people saying... There were people accusing Vaush of transphobia against Professor Flowers, and that didn't make sense to me at the time, so I guess now it does, because she's NB, okay.
Or any one of his orbiters to pile on to Professor Flowers, and how many of them are going to get away with it? How many of them will say years down the line, oh man, that Professor Flowers drama was really crazy, right guys? It was fun while it lasted though. Meanwhile, you know, 6 months of racist harassment that almost resulted in Lua quitting YouTube and worse. And that just really doesn't sit right with me, you know? And I hope it doesn't with you either. I hope that...
She literally... She just did a debate with somebody and outed herself as like a hateful bigot, and then people made fun of her and she played the victim. I don't know. Give her donations, guys. Go subscribe. Give her donations.
This causes you to wonder, like, hey, why does stuff like this only seem to be a problem when people shine a spotlight on it? Are we okay with this sort of deferential treatment for marginalized creators just because it's been greenlit from the top? These are things that I feel like we should be thinking about, but I don't know. But I don't know anything, actually, so don't listen to me.
That post only had 27 likes. It was buried in the sub. Of course it did. Nothing that Noah could possibly point to prove his point is going to have any amount of traction, because Vaush himself and the vast majority of his community look down on anybody who has stooped down to the same level as Noah Samsen. That really is what it is at this point. Like, my community and Vaush's community are basically overwhelmingly in agreement that we shouldn't be, like, stooping to Noah's level. Hell, most of the replies, it seemed, on Vaush's quote tweet of the announcement of this video were saying, Vaush, don't even bother responding to Noah Samsen. You're so above it at this point. Don't even stoop to his level with the response. He's of course going to respond, but like, that should go to show the mindset that his audience is in. They don't even like care to see Vaush respond to it, because that is how much they don't give a shit about Noah Samsen at this point. Yeah, Fortress Arc. They just want Vaush to focus on like growing the channel, fuck these guys that are trying to leech off of his... That's more or less the sentiment I was seeing in the replies. The idea that, like, I don't know, it's just so weird. Pixie Stick, thanks for the Prime sub over on Twitch. Appreciate that.
So time passed, right? And as I said, things have mostly calmed down for me, but I still wanted to speak on this experience, not just because it has been exhausting, but really because I know I haven't seen anywhere close to the worst of it. And that genuinely worries me. It worries me for the people that may experience this without the protections that I am afforded, or without the support base of being somewhat established as a content creator. It saddens me for the people who have already gone through it, people who I know
Dude, it's literally just cry bullying. It's just feel bad for me.
Are just trying to do good with the odds stacked against them and being nearly driven off of the platform because of it. I really don't want to see that happen to anyone, and regardless of your opinions of any of the people that I mentioned here, I hope you can understand where I'm coming from when I say that. This video is not a personal attack on any of the creators that I've mentioned. All of this does stem from my concern over mistreatment.
I like how he only mentions me once in the beginning when referencing the fact that he made the video, and because he can only backtrack on his takes on me. He can only backtrack. If he tried to well, for one, he had no like arguments to make about me. So like, what could he try to argue and defend here to begin with? So all he could really do if he mentioned me would be to concede that his segment of the video on me was driven by nothing but spite and personal vendetta. Yeah, he won't even try to acknowledge or defend the takes he had on me. Yeah. Which you can either see as him admitting defeat on it, or as him doubling down, or as him cowardly trying to, like, take the money and run. Take the clout, the money, the bad sentiment, the ill will he spread about me, which will no doubt affect my, you know, ability to grow, and just totally forget about it, move on from it. I don't have the platform or audience to hold Noah accountable for his lies. I'm not Vaush-sized, I can't do that, so he knows that, like, anything he does towards me, he can get away with. He's so much larger than me. Even if I was twice my size, I probably wouldn't have enough of an audience and enough of a platform to be able to properly debunk the lies he spread about me and kind of make up for the amount of harm he caused.
Treatment in online spaces, and thus mistreatment in any form in my name is, don't do it, okay? Don't do it. Don't be little freaks, okay? Okay, well, be little freaks, but not that kind. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Thanks again to Casetify for sponsoring.
Okay. Don't worry, Zan, I will avenge you. Thank you, Shu. Oh my god. Okay. Jesus. I did not think that it could get worse than the last one. I actually didn't think it could get worse than the last one. I really didn't. I didn't think it could get worse, Lonnie. Wait a minute. I didn't think it could get worse than the last one. The last video was filled with lies, misrepresented clips, lack of, and mostly just a disappointing lack of arguments. Here, it feels like Noah Samsen corrected the lack of arguments part, in that he actually made arguments in this video. He actually made the argument that Vaush's community is like racist and full of harassers and yada. But like, he went so far reaching for evidence to prove his claims that it was so easy for me to debunk them and prove the lies and the dishonesty that I feel like he's come out of my response to this video worse than he came out looking from my response to his original video. Does anybody else agree? Well, last time he made a hit piece on me and I responded to it. It did hit me pretty hard at first, like in terms of my channel, but then I ended up benefiting from it. I will no doubt benefit from this in some way as well. So in the long run, I guess I can't be too mad. I guess I'm just mostly disappointed. I'm disappointed that it seems like the largest new lefty figures that are getting big right now are just like one mainstream discovery away from becoming the next internet lolcows, basically. Like, Cat Black back during the skeptic community was nothing short of a lolcow to the broader normie public who knew of her, and that only really changed once BreadTube came around and there was a space created in which these creators could actually garner any level of a decent audience. Around 2019, late 2018 is when it really started to escalate. And it feels as though these same creators are going backwards straight into the same kind of shit that all the skeptic YouTubers used to just clip and use for their old anti-SJW videos. And it feels like all it takes now is for a couple of aspiring right-wing figures to take up the niche. Of dunking on people like Noah Samsen, Hassan, and Professor Flowers and whatnot. To label these individuals as representative of the whole left, and you've got your new roster of boogeymen. There is nothing stopping Hassan from becoming the next, I wouldn't say Hassan, nothing stopping figures any of these figures from becoming the next Anita Sarkeesian, or Big Red, or what was the glasses person, when Trump got elected? Nothing whatsoever stopping these figures from becoming the next generation of that. And I think it's, Trigglypuff or something. Yeah, there's nothing, Pussy Hat Girl, that's one too. Yeah, plenty of examples, but there's nothing preventing this from being the next roster that they end up picking up. That's all it takes. Just a couple of aspiring right-wing figures realizing it's a niche that can be filled. Did you hear that Pelosi got COVID? Bam. Was Big Red that bad? I don't remember what she said, only that she made the movement look bad. Big Red and what she said was nothing all that controversial. If I looked back on it now, it was mostly just really snarky and mean and came off condescending as fuck and just built this perfectly condescending, bitchy, preachy stereotype of the left and of feminists that was very, very, very effective to use as a caricature for political propaganda. And also it was fun. There were plenty of content creators during that time that genuinely were just making that content for fun. All it takes is a couple of creators that do commentary videos now realizing it's fun to dunk on people like Noah Samsen, Professor Flowers, and Cat Black, and they can start a whole new genre. A whole new genre. Hey chat, you know what one of the biggest YouTube trends right now is? You know what one of the biggest YouTube trends is right now? 100 days Minecraft survival videos. That was all started by one YouTuber who at the time was kind of small named Luke the Notable, doing 100 drops into Fortnite videos, which turned 100 days in Minecraft and spawned an entire genre. Now imagine if just one fairly large commentary creator just decides to start doing this type of content. Other creators realize how profitable and fun it is, start doing it themselves. We're back in 2016. I think we're already back in 2014 at this point. I mean, look around. Look where the internet is. Look where America is culturally. Look at the politicians getting elected and the policies getting pushed. Look at the news. Look at where we are right now. We are clearly moving in a much more the right is dominant culturally direction online, I feel like. They're not weird looking enough, and they are too calm and normal. If Noah had green hair and was more angry, then maybe. Yeah, Noah would be a hard one to dunk on, but I don't know. Cat Black already perfectly suited for this. She was already in that position a while ago. I mean, Professor Flowers has gone on rants about the white people colonizers. That's easy to dunk on. I don't know. I feel like it's just you gotta remember, Shu. I was 17 back when the skeptic community was at its peak. I'm 22 now. People who were 10 back then are now the same age that I was back then. completely unaware of like the cringe age of 2014 to 2016 or 2017. They don't have that context to go off of. There's nothing stopping them from making the same, you know, path. I feel like Thought Slime is a different story. I would dunk on that motherfucker. Sorry, I've dunked on that motherfucker. Yeah, Thought Slime, perfect example of somebody who could be easy right-wing content fodder. All it takes is for a whole new roster of right-wing or even normie figures to realize the cash cow sitting in front of them. Well, now I'm going to be 32 next week. Damn, I'm 22. Anyway, that's all I really have to say about Noah Samsen, and there's really not much else to say. I feel like I did a pretty good job of defending myself, defending my boy, and defending my dignity and my place here on the internet. If you enjoyed the video or you enjoyed the stream and you want to see more from me and you just generally want to help me out and support the channel without having to pay a single penny, you can do it very easily by simply clicking the like button on the stream and on the video. It helps out the channel, the stream, the video, everything way more than you even realize. YouTube values viewer engagement, that is like you guys clicking like the like button or commenting, way more than ever right now, and viewer engagement is what rockets channels into the algorithm. If you want the Xanderhal renaissance to succeed, like the video, like the stream. That's what helps get these videos into that goddamn algorithm. With that said, if you want to see more from me, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon over on YouTube, so YouTube actually does tell you when I go live or upload a new video. If you don't hit the bell icon, YouTube just doesn't tell you when I go live, upload a new video, just like 40% of the time they won't tell you. So make sure you ring the bell and turn on all notifications. And if you want to see more from me online, you can follow my social media, all linked down below, including my Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and my fan Discord. And finally, if you want to support me financially, you can always do so by donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub over on my website. For those of you guys that don't know, my website is fucking Pog. It is the on-screen chat you see on screen, a completely custom chat where you can get your own exclusive name, not taken by anybody else, get custom emotes, custom name colors, custom pronouns. You can get all the cool shit. And your messages are on screen, and I'm way more likely to read your messages. You should just come to the website chat. There's no reason not to. Leave Twitch, leave YouTube, come to the website chat. It's way better. Yeah, you can also support me on YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, and through Patreon. With all that said, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and have a good one.